We are a go. We're live.
We're back.
Long
Yo.
hiatus. What has it been? 3 weeks?
Been like, month of
Yeah.
June, right? Just took June off.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, Alaska was pretty amazing. It's
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
everybody says, it's pretty great. It was awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What did you see?
I mean, obviously the mountains were dope, but we went on this boat thing excursion. I was sick most of the time, but I did wake myself up to see the animals. So we saw we saw the blue whales,
Hey.
we saw killer whales, we saw fucking sea lions, which were dope. We saw the puffins, shit like that.
That's
Goats,
cool.
bears.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You see some moose?
Yeah, we
The
did see a
moose?
couple moose.
Hell
Sarah
yeah.
fed a moose, which was a highlight for her. But actually,
Fed a
the day
moose?
we were
Holy
yeah,
shit.
at the petting zoo.
Oh,
But
okay.
on the day we were leaving, we stopped at the road we were staying on, went along this mountain range and part of the ocean here. So we were driving by and we stopped to put some of our Chandler's ashes in at one of the spots because we took them with us. And I get ready to get out of the car. I'm like, oh shit, there's a bear. Bear just comes up to our car and just like checks us out. I was like, well, that was the last animal we needed to see before we left. So
Yeah.
Shit.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So
Like a black
it's
bear?
Wild
Yeah,
out
it's a
there.
black bear.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a cool trip. I feel like I gotta see Alaska. At least
honestly,
once,
Yeah.
right?
it's
Wilderness.
worth it. It was a good time. A lot of fucking driving though. It's like Texas. To get anywhere, you have to drive forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I went on trip up to Wisconsin, just a little getaway. It was nice, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy that I haven't seen before. So
I did fall
Like,
behind
nice.
on my watching though. I will say, like that kind of bummed
Did
me.
you?
I didn't watch a whole lot, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah. That week I was off, but I binged back. I caught back up
Yeah.
and
Bounce
got
back.
most everything I wanted to see. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you can talk about it. If you got anything other than like these main topics that you guys have been watching that you just wanted to
Yeah, write down a list.
bring up.
I watched 12 Angry Men, which was just a great movie. I mean,
Yeah.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. He comes after the episode of Breaking Bad, The Fly. It's the bottle episode of Breaking Bad, and I think it's a great episode. Obviously, it's universally like disliked. But I told him we were going back and forth about it. I was like, you know what? I actually watched 12 Angry Men recently. I want you to watch it and just kind of compare and how it's like similar to that episode because it's contained. It's great character development and story.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a good watch for me.
Did it change his mind, or he hasn't watched it yet? Or
He said he downloaded some obscure app to watch it. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, so who knows?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. That movie really, I've only seen it once, so I do need to rewatch, but it just instantly became a 5-star classic for me. The way it evolved just between all the characters, I mean, it's just like perfect writing, I'd
It
say.
was so organic, and all the characters were like very well written for it. It was 90 minutes, and they were just so
Yeah.
it
Distinct
blows away anything
immediately
that's
almost.
like written today. It's just crazy. So yeah,
For
5-star
sure.
movie for sure. It's just really good.
Yeah, that's
Nice,
been a
man.
long time on my list. One I think I would enjoy.
Yeah. It's a classic. I
Like
watched, speaking of classics, I watched Citizen Kane for the first time. So
Hmm. How was
I
it?
haven't
good.
seen it either, so I don't.
it was good. Yeah, I mean, I see
Life-changing?
why. No. I mean, I think it's just been built up too much for me to be really something like that, but it was good. I see why it's revered. And I think by the end of it, there's like an emotional twist. I don't want to give it away or whatever, but by the end of it, it worked its way on me. I was like, holy fuck, that okay. And that made me think, and I was like, oh, that's why it's so good, because no one had done that before. And it's like definitely modern in its writing. I feel like how it's like all after the events playing into, I guess we can talk about David Fincher later, but it's like all after his Charles Foster Kane's life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. They're like picking at information after the fact, and you're like getting this like kind of meta take on the whole picture of it all. So yeah,
Story
it was
from
good.
Many different sources and stuff, kind of.
Right. He's like trying to find the true information on who this guy is the whole time. So it's cool.
Yeah, that was I remember watching that in one of my film classes at Carthage. That movie is definitely very you're into film. If you want to know,
I mean, you gotta.
It's like historical. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing it took me this long, honestly, but you
Yeah.
gotta get around to them eventually. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, honestly, the fear of it not living up is like part of the reason why I don't go for some of these, but I don't know.
It's always
think that's
that's
fair.
what I
Nothing
felt
sacred.
when I turned on 12 Angry Men. I was a little nervous I wasn't
Right.
gonna like it.
Yeah.
but It was just solid.
They can usually work their way over on you if they're that good. It's like
Yeah.
you can get into them. So
If it's well written, it's like
Mhm.
something as simple as a one-room drama was perfect as long as it's well constructed in the writing.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Good writing is timeless, ageless.
Yeah.
Should be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Binge some other movies. Went on a Tom Hanks kick a little bit. Kind of come to the consensus that he's not very diverse of an actor, and I don't really.
Yeah.
I actually liked him before, but watching like 4 of his movies in a row, I was just like,
He's really like the same guy. Like,
yeah, he's
Tom
not even
Hanks.
that engaging. That's kind of the sad part, like,
Yeah.
dude, I know. I
People
was
love
thinking
him.
that like watching Asteroid City too. Like I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, he has a small part, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. He was like my least. Like I feel like the least interesting character of the movie for me. But I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it's nice. Interesting. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, saw some newer movies we could talk about later. But I don't think anyone saw like No Hard Feelings, Jennifer Lawrence's new movie. You guys plan on it? Yeah. It was good. I actually think it's like,
actually, yeah.
yes, it's pretty funny, and she's got chops for like comedic. She's a good actress in general, obviously,
Yeah.
but she can do it.
Hmm.
And then I watched 4 of the Mission Impossibles, so I feel like we got to chat about.
God
some of
dang.
those. I binged through them. I needed to watch the last 2 still, but
That's
it's
it.
not even
Yeah.
that, like I'll ease into it, but the first one was pretty good. It was like solid. I need to watch more of Brian De Palma stuff.
Yeah.
To get like more of his catalog picture for that film, but one of the better like 90s action movies or whatever, but it kind of gets like too masky, pulley, and I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? Like,
That's the magic, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but the last mask off where he's like sitting on the plane or whatever, and he's just like, you thought I was John Voight and you just revealed all your secrets. I was like, what are you? John Voight's in the next room, and you're just like, it didn't make sense after a while to me. But the second one, I wanted to like it more. It started okay, and then it just
Hard to
like
that one.
trails away into the kind of noise. But
Yeah.
it was shot cool in some parts. Or, I don't know. And I was wondering, like, because the third one's decent. It kind of combines the essence of the first 2, of like the John Woo and the De Palma. Because it's J.J. Abrams basically just doing homage writing, like.
That was his first direct, wasn't it? His first direct.
I think so.
Oh, there's this
For movies,
Digital.
yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. It was good. I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman, pretty good,
Yeah.
And then the fourth one so far, I think, is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's like kind of, I think I'm just like a guy who likes to have like the analysis film that's like 10 years down the road where you've already made the first few. And it's like, now you got to think about what the series really means. And you kind of have to like go somewhere new. That's what that one kind of felt like to me a little bit.
That's why it's one of my favorites. That was the first one I like watched ever, was Ghost Protocol, and then I went back.
I'd
and
seen
caught
parts for
up.
sure.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different because it starts to keep the same cast from that point on, but also they start to matter more after that. Even the third one a little, it starts to matter more. And I know with this next one coming out, they're tying in with the first one a little bit more too, with some old characters. But I don't know. That's why I like Ghost Protocol, and like not everything's working in Ghost Protocol, so it's kind of a more of act on your toes type thing, and it's kind of just turns into the Ethan Hunt way, So
Yeah, it really won me over. Like at the end, how it all unfolded with them at the table, just like chatting about the mission too, and like him like looking at his ex-wife or whatever, or his wife. Yeah, it was pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie. The first 3 didn't really impress me to the level that I wanted them to, but I don't know if maybe it's just Tom Cruise too, because I don't like him. I like him, but I don't love him as much as like obviously you do. But there's some parts of that series that make me think that Tom Cruise is like spearheading his own James Bond like ego trip, you know, where it's like
Absolutely, the feeling I
I'm
got when I
fucking James
started
Bond and
it.
I can make these movies because it's basically James Bond. These movies, you know, are just like their own little
Yeah.
flavor. But
It's better than James Bond, but yes.
I mean, it might be modern. Like, these modern movies definitely are for sure, but it's definitely like
set out to reinvent
a
it.
spiritual successor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
once
it's fun.
after Ghost Protocol, since you like that one the most, I think you're gonna enjoy the following ones because
I had,
at a
yeah.
certain point,
Yeah.
like Fallout, that's probably my second. It's close to my first. That and Ghost Protocol are really close, but like it just turns into like these amazing set pieces with a pretty solid story as well. You know, so
That's.
it's
I
just
mean,
a good action
I'm ready
movie.
for that. I know in Ghost Protocol he's running around the building, and
Fuck
I was
yeah.
like, fantastic. But like, honestly, like that movie needed. There's like they know the set piece, but then
Right.
they don't have much else around it. It seemed like, except for like the beginning and the end. But,
Yeah, and it just escalates from there. Like Rogue Nation just takes it up a notch, and then Fallout
That's my
up a
favorite
notch,
one.
and yeah.
nice.
So
I'm excited for those ones. So.
Yeah, I remember watching through, like when I watched through them, I was like, man, this first one like sets up a whole idea and stuff, and then the second one's kind of just like juggles mediocrity. But the third one is like where I felt like we kind of what you were saying, Alex, where it, like the voices of the characters start to feel more defined and more important, and like there's like actually a dynamic kind of building, and like the way the team operates and around Ethan and stuff like that. I don't know why. Maybe it was just Jeremy Renner. Maybe I'm just sour on that dude, but like I did not care for him in Ghost Protocol. I thought his character was like
he was a pretty bland character.
bland. Yeah. So I don't know.
Didn't really have much to do or.
Yeah, I
guess,
think
in the story, but-
his like place in the next one in like is perfect for his kind of
Yeah,
character.
nice.
He's like more of like the I don't know
yeah,
guy behind the scenes, kind of like hands off a little more.
the way
Mhm.
they
I thought
tie
that
him in
felt
though, as to why he's like laying back, is kind of cool, you know, because he was like thought he's responsible for this tragic thing that happened, but it really wasn't.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
did.
know.
He
true.
did tie in nicely.
Yeah.
It's just he was kind of there
Yeah.
for the whole story the whole time
I
to
mean,
get
he had
there.
one of the
Mhm.
best scenes where Ethan's running down the building and he yells up at him, "Your line's too short." I mean,
Yeah.
There's moments for sure.
No.
I will say I want to see Emilio Estevez come back in this next one as like the ultimate villain. He's the dude that gets like destroyed by the elevator in the first
Yeah.
one, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of wish like he was
He
a
comes
part
back
of the
to
team
formed or
still.
something, or
Yeah.
like not fully.
It's just unfortunate that he had to be a sacrifice for like stakes when
Mhm.
like they keep Ving Rhames around, they keep basically everybody else. Emilio Estevez just like drew the short straw to be the guy that got killed in the first one, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't know. But
honestly,
Shit.
Simon Pegg was one of my favorite additions to
he
the
takes
team.
over.
He's really good.
Yeah.
But
He's like
Yeah.
much needed too. I feel like just not just like comedy relief, but like I don't know, his character kind of gets like more important too, like a lot more
there's
essential.
more heart to it and
Nice.
stuff. Even Ving
Mhm.
Rhames in Fallout kind of pulls it. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, nice.
Yeah.
So keep up the
It's a
keep
cool
up the grind.
franchise.
It's definitely
I'll move along. Yeah, definitely for Dead Reckoning. Got to catch up
Fuck
for
yeah.
Tommy.
See, I'm gonna
boy.
be in Japan. Like I don't know if that's
Mhm.
gonna be in Japanese or or some shit, or if I can find like an English translation.
Nice.
Maybe, hopefully, I'll be able to find it and watch it somewhere. But
Yeah.
Watch it with like English subtitles.
Yeah,
Well, I
right.
guess like that wouldn't even happen in the theater. But
just like a Japanese dude over Tom Cruise. Like I don't know how that's gonna
I think that'd
fly.
be
but
cool.
maybe whole different
Yeah.
feel.
Different taste. Yeah.
yeah, just like watch it in Japanese and come back and like watch it
Yeah.
in English.
Yeah, I'd have to see like Tom Cruise like doing the fucking like some type of say and yell. You know, it's got to be like a Japanese guy yelling.
I don't know. Maybe I'll binge them. I don't know.
Do it. It'll
How
be
much
worth
time do I
it.
have? Is it next weekend?
It's
2
like
weeks.
2-3 weeks.
2 weeks? I can do that.
July 12th.
Hey, I've done crazy. All right.
Like 12.
Right.
12th? I thought it was after Barbie and Oppenheimer. It's before? Wow.
That's it was. I think it was supposed to be around the same time, actually.
Mm.
But yeah, my tickets
Somebody
for the 12th,
pushed.
So.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Only the other thing really I got to talk about is like I just started watching the Eric Andre show for like the first time actually.
Yeah, a few episodes of that.
Oh my
Watched
god,
every
I would
single
recommend.
episode.
I would highly recommend just watching through that whole show. It's
Yeah.
fucking. It makes me laugh so hard. Some of it is like you have to like turn it down because it's like, dude, fucking take it easy. Like, but
Yeah.
when he's like hitting his fucking like character, and Hannibal Buress is great too as like a side guy, but like holy fuck, I can't believe I've waited this long, because it's got like essence of like Nathan For You, like all this like on the street shit sometimes, and then he's got like just a celebrity guest that he brings into talk show, and it's just like complete chaos every episode, and it's fucking good. But
Funny
Watching
watching
the
those
new season?
reactions.
I've seen like one episode, and that's kind of what made me like go back. I was like, how have I not like seen this? I was like, I need to, just start it up, and it was just fucking great. So
It
I'm in
was
like
wild.
season 5. Yeah.
I like. Did you watch the
Insane.
Childish Gambino one of the new one?
No, I did not
Oh,
see that one
okay.
actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I mean, they're all every episode's pretty wild and pretty good, and usually can get a couple chuckles out of me, if not just like straight up laughs. So
It's fun, but I mean, you got to kind of be into that
In
kind
the
of
mood.
humor where it's like
Yeah.
slaps
Yeah.
you right in the balls. You know,
Fucking balls.
sometimes I'm not. Sometimes it goes too far. I'm just like, okay, man, let's go back to like substance of some kind. But like, yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Well, any other shit you guys been watching before we start chatting about some new shit?
I think so. Not much new for me.
Yeah, I mean, besides like all the other shit that I had to watch like for this episode, and also Righteous Gemstones, all of it, and Vice Principals and Beast Mounted Down. I mean, like I caught up on Silo. I haven't. I think the last
Oh,
episode
really?
came out today. Have you
Yeah.
actually been watching it still, Matt?
I've seen 7 episodes now. So
And like, yeah, what do you think? Because I mean, like, dude, I feel like I watch a whole episode. It's hour-long episodes. I feel like I watch a whole episode and like basically nothing happened. Like, there's like
that
maybe
show
5
sucks.
minutes of actual shit that like is like actual content that matters from the episode, and then the rest is just
Yeah.
bullshit. Like,
I don't know.
so I don't
who
know.
thought 10 episodes was a good idea. That's
Yeah, like I feel like I
What?
haven't learned anything new since like basically the first episode. Like
Yeah.
the rest is just kind of just bullshit. I don't know.
I mean, they want you to care about like the inner workings and politics of the silo, but
Yeah.
don't show 2 episodes at the front of your show that are all tease and all like projection on outside the silo, and then just do fucking 8 episodes of stupid bullshit in the silo that no one cares about, dude. Like,
Sounds like Lost.
no, man, Lost is light years ahead of just character work and quality and like
Maybe the
everything.
character work, but they tease a lot of bullshit in Lost where it never really paid off.
Lost continuously is like teasing and like getting more and invested and more like there's what the fuck, sit up. Silo is like, what the fuck? And then
you
it's
kind of
like,
got the
oh,
tease at the beginning of the season, and then like you just never really get.
you don't get
anything
you don't do
more,
any.
like-
Yeah, they did one
And you
reveal
already
that I've
kind of like
seen.
know, like at the beginning that like there is an outside world and shit, and then like
Yeah.
that's like kind of the tease that I just got in the latest episode that I watched, and I'm just like,
Is,
but I
so
already
you have
fucking
one more
knew
to go
that. Like, I
then?
don't know what I think.
You have
There's
one
10
more?
episodes. Yeah, I think it just
Okay.
came out today.
Yeah, it
I
was
could
like,
I could be
yeah,
wrong, but I
yesterday
don't
or
know.
today. But I was just wondering if you knew what was outside yet, because I'm just fucking
I
like, by
don't
this
know.
point I've just invested
Maybe I'll
into it.
find
I
out
need
at
to-
the end of this episode, but I
Dude,
don't
swear
even
to
know if
God,
they'll get there.
If it's like a walk out the door cut and we don't really know, we just know we're outside.
Dude,
I don't
$5
know.
it
I think I
is.
might be done.
I bet it is.
It might be. It might be, man. But no, fucking dreary, boring, shot terribly. And the main actress, I like to give her credit in a lot of stuff she does. She is fucking terrible in this show. Absolutely.
know,
I mean, she
at
tries as much as she
first-
can, but
I think it was like the Turbine episode that I just liked, and that's why I started to like her character. And then after that, it just went full downhill. Like, and I totally agree with you that like, dude, her character sucks. Like, she just does random shit. Like, she just does whatever the fuck she wants sometimes, and it's like, why? Like, why wouldn't you just go see the mayor? Like, he just asked you to go see him. Like, just go see the mayor, and then go do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, I don't know. Like,
even if
It
you
is
show
just
me
dumb,
like emotionally like why you're like making decisions, or just like lead me there and like, just give me something to look at, literally, because like if you just standing there with no emotion, like you're not leading me anywhere. You're just kind of, it's like Silo is supposed to be so boring because we're living in a silo almost. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know, man.
so then
I want it to be better.
Then, other than that, I randomly started watching Secret Invasion, and I just like, I hit a lull. I don't know, like I it's like I like
Needs
the other
more
fucking
stuff.
Marvel shows. I like never watch. I don't know. It's weird. So I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, I think this might actually be okay. Then
every Marvel
so then I
fucking
watched
show.
the second episode, And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
And then you're like, there it is.
That's
yeah.
the Marvel formula,
Okay.
baby.
So I don't even want to talk about the like. It's just
I mean, I was
Like, I think
disappointed
it's
to
like-
hear it's
dude,
not very
Samuel
good.
Jackson. I think like he's just not that good.
Oh,
Like,
did
How
Okay.
dare you?
I'm sorry. I just like, dude, he's not.
I
As
mean, he's
an
playing Sam
actor,
Jackson. Is that what you're saying, or what? He just doesn't give a fuck anymore, or
I think so. Yeah.
He's got to pay off some
I
tax
mean, he's
debt.
been playing Nick Fury for
Yeah.
15 years now. I think he doesn't really. Most of those guys probably are just cashing the checks over there. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Dude,
but-
I bet. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I don't even really want to talk about that. And then really the only other thing I could talk about, I guess, like as far as anime and shit goes, Demon Slayer, the new season ended,
yeah.
or for like the sub, like in Japanese. And
Pretty good.
yeah, the end of the season, yeah, it like there's actually some pretty important shit that goes down. But overall, like I feel like it finally like clicked for me that it's basically like a Dracula story, but set in like Edo period Japan. So like I don't know, just like kind of a neat mix of concepts, I guess.
yeah.
Because like the demons are basically
at it.
vampires. I mean, they eat people and shit, and like the main guy is basically Dracula. So like
I see.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. But yeah, the end was pretty good. And then I don't know. I guess besides that, I one of my friends told me about the Shonen Jump app. And like it's like $3 a month to subscribe to the app. So I just like subscribed, and I've just been like reading fucking manga for the last
Oh,
like couple
boy.
days. Just like
He's
in my
getting
free
into
time, I'll
manga.
just like get on my phone. I'll just like read some manga, like, and then I'll just like go like for like 5 minutes, and I'll go off doing whatever the fuck I was doing. Like I don't know, it's like kind of nice. Like it's like I don't know.
Is Demon Slayer still airing or like being written?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one I was probably gonna catch up on,
Mm.
and I have like other ones. I was reading Dragon Ball Super just because like
You should
You know.
read Berserk. That one's pretty good. That's like the
Yeah.
only manga I'll read. So, or anime.
gotcha. Wait,
I haven't
have you
watched the
actually read
anime.
it?
I read the
So you
first
read the manga.
volume,
I've
Diamonds
heard it's
Volume
like
2.
pretty fucked up at the end. Is that
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, actually.
Well, I mean, it starts off pretty fucked up, and then yeah,
Then it gets fucked up in the middle, and
Yeah.
then
it's dark, but it's interesting.
it's good though?
Yeah, if you like
yeah,
Dark
sure,
Souls and
I
shit
get
like that, then you probably like it. I mean, that's where they got a lot of their inspiration. So
Okay, yeah.
gotcha.
I'll give it a shot. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I can't
You
say
got the
about the
app.
anime. I don't
Fuck.
watch anime, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching Vinland Saga recently on Netflix, and it's actually not bad. I've been enjoying
Yeah?
it. Yeah, I'm only I just finished the first season, so I like 2 episodes in the second season, but it's pretty cool. It's like set in a time like the turn of the century, and like there's like a bunch of warring clans basically for like the UK, for Britain and Wales and stuff like that. So like there's a bunch of people are like making claims to the throne, saying they have like the right to it, and they're just like, I don't know, just follows this kid Thorfinn, and he gets like, I don't know, he gets thrown into the shit at a real young age, and it's good. It's sad, but it's good. Intense, a lot of
Cool.
battling. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I
Nice.
also have been watching Dr. Stone. I guess for just going through anime.
Oh yeah, shit.
It's actually pretty
I tried
good.
that one.
I
I couldn't
don't
really
know.
get into it, but
I mean,
I
like
mean, I
it's
watched,
kind of
like, 15
weird because
episodes.
like they basically talk about science like it's a fucking religion, which is weird. But
Yeah.
like, I mean,
I think
it's
if they're
okay.
trying to like rebuild
It's a
society
pretty
and both
interesting
those
story. Yeah,
ideas,
'cause
right?
it's like
Yeah,
it's
that's
supposed to
cool.
be like 3,000 years in the future or some shit, and basically all of humanity got like turned to stone, petrified.
Yeah.
And they can like bring people back and shit now, but like there were other people who like kind of were living, and yeah. So like in the new season, they built a ship and they went to this other island and they found some other people, and
They've been alive for a while.
basically they like, well, I don't know. Noah, do you watch it? I mean, I don't want to like spoil some shit.
I got
but...
pretty far into it. Like,
All right, yeah, I won't say
yeah.
anything then, because it like kind of some crazy shit that
Yeah.
happened recently. So
Okay.
There's a
Yeah, I got
society.
as far as like that the battle with, I forget the name of the dude, but like the fucking beefcake primal guy.
Yeah.
The athlete or whatever, like the perfect athlete dude.
yeah, man, anime is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just talk about some movies.
Wait,
Let's
before we
move on.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I out of curiosity, I watched the first 2 episodes of The Idol. Um,
Oh,
Yeah,
well, yeah.
I was
tell-
actually wondering if I should.
no,
I've heard
don't
bad
watch it.
things.
Don't start it. Okay.
I mean, you can if you want to just
It
see
piqued my
like
curiosity.
I hadn't
like
heard
a
anything
giant
about it, so like
nothing
I didn't
burger
know.
every episode, and they're like an hour plus long, and it's the guy who did Euphoria. And first
Yeah.
off, it was juggled between a bunch of like different creative heads, but like The Weeknd kind of I think strong armed a lot of people out of the project because you can clearly see why. It's just him stroking his ego, which I mean I can't lie. One of his one album is one of my more listened to albums that year. So I mean I like his music, but the dude's like the way he's
Not an
treating his
actor.
character. Yeah, no, he's not. But it's like he's a cult leader, but he's like the god of this cult, so it's just weird. And he's like helping this girl find her voice as a pop singer, and he's like, "Pop is the best music because of this, that, and the other." I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here, buddy. I can see that
Here,
why
have
you
some
have
Kool-Aid.
creator next to your name on the show. I mean, it's just him
Mhm.
sucking his own dick, and it's just like the whole thing is just like torture porn, but it's actually
Mhm.
like sex stuff, but it's not really sex. He's like, I don't know. It's
Like,
weird as
like
fuck.
what Euphoria is too, though. Like that's what I.
The thing with Euphoria is it's teenagers, so it's weird in that respect, and it makes you feel
Yeah.
dirty in that respect. This one, he like puts a cloak over her face, cuts a hole in it, and then like teases her and makes her sing while he's like doing stuff to her. It's just weird as shit.
I mean, it's an HBO show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
it
feel
is.
like they just have to like fill that gap for like that kind of like
Yeah.
show. You know what I mean? Like
It's just
Young adult audience.
it's like she can only find her voice if she's like horned up or if she's like on the cusp of an orgasm, and it's just like, is this
You
how
guys
it
aren't like
works
that?
for The Weeknd? I
Jeez.
mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I get like
Yeah.
getting a little relief and clearing your head, man, but I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm just it's just fucking weird. It's just but the worst thing about it is every episode there's like nothing happens and it's just boring. Boring
It's
as
supposed to be
shit.
like shocking and shit, right? But it's just
Yeah,
like so
it's
kind of
not.
just like dumb.
Or
That's-
just
I mean, that's
cleaned
just a
up.
little bit I've heard. But
It is. It's just The Weeknd, like I said, sucking his own dick. But it is what it
Mhm.
is. I guess I will not be continuing it though. I can't. I can't put myself.
there's
in
only
it.
what, like 5 episodes?
Yeah, yeah.
You should do it for science.
I might. I don't know if I get bored enough. I gotta catch up on Righteous Gemstones though. So priorities.
Okay, there, yeah, watch better shit then.
yeah.
For
No,
sure.
you've been watching anything else?
I think so. Not like like show wise. I mean, I did watch I watched Shrinking a while ago, and like I would recommend that if you guys have Apple Plus or
I did watch that one
that
too.
kind of thing. Yeah, I thought that was
I added it to my list, but I
worth
still
it.
never went back to it. I probably
No,
should.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It breezed once I started it.
yeah.
watched it in
goes
2
back
days.
quick. I was surprised by it too. I was kind of like skeptical of it. I was like, Harrison Ford's old. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing a fun character. It's like to his strengths for sure, and it's like kind of
yeah.
different than what he usually does. So
Yeah, he was good at. Everyone's good in it. Other than that, I rewatched Way of Water, just like in.
Ah,
I still
know,
haven't
like-
seen it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I was like, obviously the theater's a whole experience. So I was like, how does this stack up just like on the couch?
not in 3D.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I knocked it down half a star. It's still like a good story, and I think it's a pretty good sequel, but it didn't punch me as much. So
Man, I think I just been
Yeah.
putting it off because like I'm gonna have to watch like the first Avatar before I watch it, so I can like remember what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on.
yeah,
You kind of.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Their ass.
I was never really that big of a fan of like the first one anyway. So like I don't know.
Good.
I just
Well, speaking
sure
of
it's
James
good,
Cameron,
yeah.
the last thing I kind of want to talk about is I watched an old movie called A Night to Remember, and
spelled with a K,
no,
like a night, like a.
like
it's a
medieval.
romance movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, set in medieval times. No, it's about the Titanic because I've been eating up this fucking news like crazy.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But basically, it's Titanic made in 1958. So it kind of blew my mind on like multiple moments. I was just like, "Holy fuck, James!" Like,
He just straight copied some shit.
yeah, it made me move Titanic down half a star because I was like, "Wow," because I thought Titanic was like its own fucking like magical fucking creation, which it is. It's still a fantastic film.
Matt, you should like
There's
post
moments
this on,
completely
like,
ripped out.
some social media shit, just like at James.
You guys don't know what the
Cameron,
fuck?
like,
Yeah,
be
James
like,
Cameron stole
be like,
everything.
you fucking totally copied. I don't know.
Yeah, do some TikTok where it's like James Cameron copied A Night to Remember, 1950. I mean,
Everybody needs to
it would be
know,
clicking
like-
because Titanic's hot right now.
Dude,
again.
yeah, like
Yeah, right.
yeah, people would.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie though. I
Acknowledge
mean,
it.
for that time, and I like Titanic, so it's just interesting to me. But it's pretty dark, and it kind of goes there. And yeah, I don't know, it's worth a watch. I watched it on YouTube one night. I was just like, it's like free on YouTube, so
No, wow.
fucking interesting.
Well, I don't know. James Cameron just kind of copies his own shit as he keeps making movies, so it's not like
He does
that's
what
anything
works.
new.
That's what it seems like.
That's
He's
what-
like, you guys
Yeah.
saw when I did the Titanic. Oh yeah, do you also remember Terminator? Oh yeah, what about Aliens? Check it all out in one movie. Avatar: Way of Water. Yeah, it's bullshit.
And it's a pretty good movie, right?
No, it's horrible.
You like all three of those movies separate, right? So why wouldn't you like them
like-
all?
Did he do Aliens? Was that the one he did? Because if so,
Yeah.
that's a 5-star movie. Good.
That's
for
the one
that
he
guy.
did. Yeah. That's what he did. Right,
But
yeah,
after
yeah.
that,
Mhm.
no.
No.
Terminator 2. 's
T2.
okay, though. It's okay.
Teacher's
It's
pretty good. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is
But-
fine.
It's
Not
James
as
Cameron
hyped
just-
as like a lot of people bring it up to be, but yeah.
It's like one of those-
Anyways, shall we start our list of topics finally?
Yeah, let's do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Wait, we started the first one. The first topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this might be a little too inside, but should we move what we've watched to the end of the show? I was just thinking that,
That could
recently.
be good because I feel like we
Yeah.
get caught up. Like
It's like
in,
a
in
20
the
to 30
water.
minutes of just
Yeah.
random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, in the long term, if we wanted to just like get going, might as well just move out to the end. We can just like wrap up and kind of ease out with it, you know.
That'd be better that way. Better structure.
So now you guys know if you're listening, that's how it's gonna. You'll see that next episode. But first topic I brought up, I think me and Joe talked about it a little bit. But did you guys watch the Craven the Hunter trailer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? You gonna go see it?
I mean, it's the Spider-Man villain. Yeah, I'll see it. If it shows up in a Spider-Man movie, I'll see it. But I watched
doesn't-
Morbius, and it was ass.
was gonna say,
So
Well, you're gonna
I
get burnt
mean,
again,
like
dude.
you're gonna get the same movie.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know. But I do like Aaron Taylor Johnson. So
Me too.
and he's
I'm
kinda
kind of
Yeah.
surprised that, like,
So.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we haven't seen the movie yet, but well, I guess Noah, what did you think first, guy? Just before I go off.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like I wanted to see Flash, but then I was like, I don't know. I think I'm
Like,
just
do
like
I?
I'm
Yeah.
falling off the superhero thing.
I
in
get it. No, I totally get it. Yeah.
Because like I like the Flash and everyone in that movie, and I figured there'd be good parts. But that's kind of, and I don't know. I like Spider-Man, but like, is Craven? Is it enough?
Is
for
it
me
worth
to-
it?
Like,
Yeah.
will they
Yeah.
eventually tie these together with a Spider-Man? Like one of the.
I'm sure that's what
Right.
we're hoping.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, like I was wondering if they would like end at like some kind of Sinister Six type scenario, but like I don't even know if that.
But they
Well, I
teased
mean,
the
they-
Rhino at the end of it, right?
Oh, at the end of the trailer.
Trailer.
Craven, right?
Yeah.
They
possible.
I mean, they
Yeah.
teased the Sinister Six back with the fucking
Amazing
Andrew
Spider-Man
Garfield.
2.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they keep trying it. It just never picks up because they make shit movies after a while. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know.
take
I
it
was
easy, all right.
I was kind of excited just on that because Craven the Hunter like excites me as like a character on
Yeah.
a
It's
level.
Definitely a
Raven
cool
is
concept,
actually really cool. So like
He needs
watching this
Spider-
trailer,
he just needs
I'm just
fucking
like,
Spider-
dude, like I said it, because me and Matt were talking about it in a group message with Shay, and dude, like I don't know if he like is supposed to have lion powers or some shit. Like I don't know what the deal is. Craven does not have powers. No
Okay.
powers at all in the
Yeah.
comics. Like
They
he's
got lazy
basically-
with the origin.
dude. He's basically like
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, but he's like obsessed with like hunting stuff. Like
Right.
I,
See, that's
I don't
even
know,
cooler.
like yeah, dude, he's actually a really cool character. Like, and I
Yeah.
feel they're totally gonna ruin his ass. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that like Aaron Taylor Johnson like would go along with this if they're like literally just like they take the name and then destroy all the fucking source material. Like, why would
Yeah.
I don't know? Like,
I mean,
I
that's
guess with
kinda
like all the other
these
superhero
days.
movies that he's been involved in, I kind of assumed that he wouldn't do that. But like, I don't. He is an actor, I guess. He is getting
That's
paid.
true.
So like,
Was Quicksilver? He did get hit by bullets.
yeah,
But-
that's true. Well, I don't know. In like
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass, yeah. Like,
yeah, Kick-Ass was great.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the best judgment when it comes to roles, but He was
they
good in
just
Bullet
gave him
Train.
a fat paycheck. So
Yeah, then
That's probably it. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
my own Marvel movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, I'll do that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
You're
that's
the
kind of
lead.
their MO though. They just bastardize all these IPs and they get people to come pay money to see these, but they
got
just
the Marvel stamp
Dude,
on.
yeah, it's like I would be just do it well, and then I'll
Yeah.
come see it. Like,
Right.
but I was like, when I saw that trailer, all my excitement just evaporated. I was like, dude, Morbius, like, what the fuck? Like, you just shot these like back to back in the same fucking vein, the
Dude,
same
and
tone,
like,
the same
how
like.
the fuck did their like little universe thing not get destroyed after Morbius? Why didn't like? I mean, that movie tanked, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
they
it's like,
brought
oh,
it
I
back into
couldn't
theaters
cancel
to
this
try to
one.
make more money or some shit. I mean, like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
as a
like
joke, basically.
why
Yeah,
would you
They got
continue
moved
this?
back in.
Like,
They were like, I don't even think they had this filmed by when Morbius came out, but I might be wrong. But if they did, or if they didn't, they could have easily like pulled the plug. But they
scrap the
must
whole
have.
thing.
They pushed through, and here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, I
no
don't-
idea about the origin stuff, but now that you said that he was basically like Bruce Wayne, but
Or at least that's
this
what I've
looks
gotten
like-
from like the times I've seen him, you know, in
right.
stuff.
But it looks
Cooler.
like he got like the blood of the lion, so then he became this
Mhm.
like super freak. So maybe
Yes.
that might be kind of
Animals.
lame. So
My lion senses are tingling.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna be doing the whole time.
Or he's like the apex predator.
Yeah. Gotta constantly be hunting. That's probably it, actually. Wow, that's sad.
Can't stop
I could
hunting.
write
I'm a
this shit,
fucking
guys.
lion.
I could write. I could-
It's like Crank, you know the movie Crank, where he just has to keep electrocuting it. It's like somebody just like combined these. Anyways, moving on. Only other news I really wrote down in like the last month that was like noteworthy, I guess, was like the Superman casting that just came out.
I have no idea who the fuck those people are. Should
Yeah, I
know
don't
who they
either.
are?
I don't know the dude. He was in the new like X or Maxine
Horn
movie,
Sweat?
or Pearl.
What?
Yeah, apparently he
Oh,
was in
he the
Pearl
guy?
or
Oh,
X.
He must be the other
He
somewhat.
was like a
love interest.
projectionist or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Okay, I can see it now.
And the other chick, I do know the chick, and I don't know the dude. I'm sure he looks like Superman, I guess. But the chick is, I think that's pretty good casting, honestly, because I've seen her in House of Cards. I want to say like early House of Cards when that show was still good, and she's a pretty good actress, and I think she just fits
Dude.
Lois Lane. So
Holy fuck! It just reminded me because it's Superman stuff. So none of you have seen The Flash, right?
nah,
So like, oh fuck. I mean, are you gonna like? Are any of you gonna see it?
yeah, I'll
And I
watch
guess
it.
it's not really that. You know what? I guess just won't say anything. There's like
I
a
just don't-
there's like a little cameo in there that like I just thought was
Superman?
like fucking hilarious. Yeah, I mean like, but can you guess who the
I know
Superman
who.
was?
I know.
Do you? Well, okay, you probably do. then.
CGI Christopher Reeves. That's what
Well,
it should be.
I think at one point, but
real?
like
Are you talking about
Also-
the
Wow.
man, the myth, the legend? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, I know what you're
The
talking
I think I
mustache.
am.
about. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I won't say
It's
it.
just
I
all
guess.
nostalgia and all this bait to get
Yeah,
people
it's
to
just
come
like-
see this movie and then be like, "Oh my god, it's insane!" But it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
shit. Are we talking about the same person? I don't know. It doesn't
We
matter.
might be.
I'll see
I
it
think we
soon.
might be.
Keep talk.
I feel like we
Um,
probably
I
are.
have someone in mind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I'm hoping the James Gunn universe is going to be good kind of now after the disappointing Flash, but I'm worried that now there's like no interest in it at all, which I get, but
Honestly, I'm not really interested. I
Yeah.
mean, like,
No?
I don't like you were saying, Noah. Like, I just have like fucking superhero fatigue, which is kind of weird
Yeah.
that I started watching Secret Invasion, but I probably will not keep up with that anymore because it looks shitty. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just wanted to go see The Flash because, like, well, for one, I thought we were going to talk about it, so that's why I went to go see it.
Fair.
I
But,
was
uh,
planning on it, and then just like something in me just kept not
Yeah.
going to see it. So I was like,
Same.
eh.
Yeah.
I was like talking to a buddy at work. I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna go see the Flash. I think this week, and like it was like every day,
Just
like I
never
get off
happened.
work. It's like I'm tired. Like, yeah, I don't know. I want to get up.
Yeah.
And do it.
Honestly, though, like, I don't know. I did not expect to like it, and I actually thought
Yeah.
it was. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
I figured the Michael Keaton stuff would be the highlight. Like,
yeah, Michael
whole
Keaton Batman
time,
definitely the best part of the
Batman,
movie. Yeah.
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 But I don't know how like after all that shit Ezra Miller was pulling, I don't know how.
Dude,
that,
I know,
like,
right?
Even like, why did they even go through with his? I don't know. I would have found someone else, and maybe that would have like garnered a little more interest.
I think
But,
so. I think that
yeah.
killed a lot of the outer like interest in it, because there's gonna be diehard people that just went and see it no matter what. But like the people that are just like, yeah, like once you hear a year of Ezra Miller being a fucking psychopath, like that's kind of why I didn't want to go see it too. Honestly, there's a little bit of
Superheroes,
that.
too.
So
That makes sense. He's a superhero. He's the good guy. Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
it's kind of funny too because like they make a big point about him being like a hero and like saving people in the movie and shit too, but like the
such a
the real
disconnect.
person is like,
Yeah.
not, like
He's a piece
so
of
weird.
Didn't you think about that one time where you broke into someone's house for a bottle of booze and you're like, aren't you wealthy
Is
enough
he
to
a
buy your own?
hero?
like, what the fuck?
Huh.
You addict. You're an addict.
Yeah.
Well, I
But,
really do
Other man.
legacy casting stuff.
I
Sorry.
just like
We can get
we're at
back
the
to that.
tail end, like that. This is an Aquaman still.
Oh
like,
yeah,
we're
I
at the
saw that
tail
that's
end
still
of,
like
like,
a thing. Like,
the schlock shit. So like I'm just hoping now
Is
that
Amber
James
Heard
Gunn
in
has
it?
his hands. I think so.
I
oh
think she
yeah,
got cut out a little bit, but she's still
and I
in
would.
it.
Not enough. Not enough though.
Amber Turd.
Um. Anyways, not much news. Other than that, I figured we'd do like a little bit of a box office check in here at the like almost halfway point, or
Yeah, I'd
Not
been
yet,
keeping
not
up,
quite yet.
like kind of.
yeah, me too. I mean, I
really
usually
wanted-
keep up.
I really wanted the new Spider-Man to.
It still
ahead of
could. I
Guardians.
think it might be able to pull it out.
It's
That's
like I have it
my-
as number 1, and I have Guardians of the Galaxy at number 2.
Same here. Same here. It's still chugging along a little bit. It's got like 40 million to make, maybe less. I think it might be able to. We'll see.
I heard
That'll
they're
be
not
tough,
pulling
though.
it to digital for like till August, so you guys have some.
That's a good idea.
Some time. So
I like that.
Cool.
Because people like, especially animated movies, those have long legs for like families and kids and stuff. So
Dude, I feel like the one though that's gonna kill us because I think Matt, I think you were the only one who put Little Mermaid on your list, right? Because the other 3 of
Really?
us did not. I don't think,
I did.
right? None of us did. Because I did. It's definitely not on my list. But like I saw that it has actually been doing like pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be top 5 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say.
Gross.
And Fast X is doing a lot better than I thought it would too. So I have that in there, but it's like
I have it like
10 for
middle
me.
of the pack. I think I have
That's
it
probably
at
a
like
good
5 or
spot.
6.
Honestly,
Honestly,
that might
yeah.
be good.
Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I also put Transformers in my list too.
Me too. It's not doing
I
that
don't know if I
that
put the
well.
Flash. Yeah,
Flash is
I
up
don't
there
know.
for me, and that's
it was a wild card. Like the
I don't know if that one's even gonna make it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if
I
we
mentioned-
did worldwide, like Transformers and Fast X would be up there, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they'd be doing a lot better.
Oh,
that
yeah,
China
Um,
market though.
I did see Transformers, and yeah, very mid. I checked out for like an hour of that movie, dude. It was crazy. I like it's like it was like a nice. I need to watch more movies like that sometimes because it like started making my brain work, and then it like got so boring and like convoluted that it made me like start thinking about my own projects and stuff. And I was like basically just like it basically just like
shopping mid-movie.
jump started my own like creativity, and I was just like writing notes on my phone eventually. And then like I checked back in for like the final act, and I was like, okay, so here we go.
At least we get now.
Yeah, I mean, I was like watching, but
I feel like
it
I'm
was just
kind of.
very like
So I-
standard.
Yeah, I can see that.
And there's a huge tease at the end. I don't know if you guys want to get spoiled, but they're trying to build another universe over there, so
Of course they
Oh,
are.
boy.
it's crazy, crazy shit.
I'm not surprised. I mean, like they got a frame. I mean, it
Got
was
a
a
toy
franchise
line.
before, you know.
Yeah,
are
it's
you
like-
just
it's
gonna make
literally
a
like the
fucking solo
Hasbro
Transformers
universe.
movie? Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
You're gonna try to combine some different toys together, I'd say.
Lego
dude, so
set,
I,
Bionicle sets, whatever the fuck.
oh
I
yeah,
don't
dude.
know. I'm
I used to have a
surprised they
shit ton
didn't
of
do that one yet.
Bionicles back in the day. Yeah.
See how defeated-
Well, they used to make like animated movies back in the day, but like,
Yeah,
I don't even know how you could make that like live action. Like, would it be a person in a
like
suit?
Pacific Rim.
Like,
yeah,
like
like a,
fucking Legos. Like,
Mm.
that'd be weird.
but I checked my list and I put Flash at 6, so that's definitely gonna be fucked.
yeah. I think it's at like 5 for me. I wish I followed my gut when I first made that list because I was like, the Flash was the hardest choice because I just didn't know if like other
Yeah.
people cared about it, and I should have just followed my instincts. Like,
Yeah, I didn't throw that on there. I put in the.
Because I didn't even. It was an afterthought for me. Like literally, I have like
Nice.
scribbled out on mine.
damn, should have known that it was like off your radar for a reason. Like, you know. But the only other like news part of the top box office, I just keep seeing that Tom Cruise is like about to rip his hair out over his own movie coming out. Like he's like so worried that he's not going to have enough IMAX theaters for Dead Reckoning because of like Barbie and Oppenheimer coming in. And I just find it kind of funny to watch from the sidelines. The man, like, he's like now trying to like say that we should watch a double feature of Barbie and Oppenheimer. And I think it's because he's like subtly trying to get you to watch both those movies so then you can go see Dead Reckoning or something again later.
I guess I'm
week or some
not
shit.
really like it was for this movie. It wasn't for Top Gun Maverick, where like because it was like right when COVID started. I'm pretty sure he was like filming in like London, I want to say, and he like leaked some voice like audio recording of him like chewing the fuck out of like some crew member for like having COVID, and then you find out it's like fake, and he just like leaked this to get like press, and I'm just like, wow, that's like Donald
some
Trump
Scientology shit.
type shit. Like I don't know, like
It follows the model.
I just thought that
I mean,
was like
he's a
pretty
good like performer. He does crazy shit. I can't wait to watch the stunt that kills him on the big screen. But the man in general, I don't know if I like actually like who that guy is. So it's just like, yeah.
That's really fair.
You guys just need to
But-
get into Scientology. You might.
Yeah, I need to start releasing the thestrals or whatever the fuck
Hey,
those
I've
things are called in
seen-
Scientology.
Gotta climb
Is
the
it
chain, man.
Battleground Earth
Yeah.
or something like that?
John
Battlefield
Travolta,
Earth.
yeah.
Battlefield Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it, right? Like I
You read the book. You got the message then. Anyways, should we just start talking about some of these new good shows and movies that are freaking
Yeah, let's
coming
do
out?
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's dive in. I figured we start with I think it's probably the one that we're all most interested about, or kind of have the biggest juicy one that's out right now, which is The Bear. So we decided we're gonna chunk it out episodes 1 to 5, just because I want to savor The Bear as much as I can. Even though I do want to bring up the conversation of like the binge model versus the like week to week. But what do you guys, I guess, first overall opinions? What do you guys like in the Bear season 2 as much as the first, or more, or where you guys at?
I would love to just compare it real quick to Ted Lasso and what Ted Lasso failed to do that The Bear successfully does, which is take its ensemble and make all the characters matter. See, with Ted Lasso, they just kind of inserted characters with like a certain TED talk that they wanted to present for that episode, and that's how they would use that character. It didn't really have depth. But like what The Bear is doing is it's taking all these minor characters that we got to know in the first season and they kind of evolved, but not completely. And then they begin to flesh them out in their own individual episodes, but it matters in the whole scheme of things. Where at Ted Lasso, when they tried to like bring more characters in besides, Ted, Beard, and Rebecca, it just kind of fell apart because it felt out of place. So these characters matter, and I think this is a fantastic, like, just character just written series. I don't know. It's very good. I think since Better Call Saul, this is finally like I'm like, oh god, somebody cares about writing, and it just feels I feel it in this one personally. But
Nice.
Hey man, this is definitely. I think it's definitely like become one of my favorite shows of all time. It's fucking
Nice.
good, man. It's fucking
Yeah.
good. Like, yeah, like I think, yeah, like you were saying, Alex, the writing is fucking tight. The honestly, like the framework, the cinematography is great. Like
Yeah, there's some
it does
pretty
so
cool-
much.
Or like really vibrant shots, like over
Yeah.
dishes and stuff.
Mhm. Oh yeah, the food like shots are amazing. I love how like I don't know, like I mean it's a very like high anxiety, high like intensity show, and like a lot of the framing, is like there's not like too many wides unless it's like an established thing at the beginning of the episode. And then it makes like you feel like you're in the kitchen, you're like cramped,
Yeah, you're tight.
like
Yeah.
shit is hot. You can feel the heat in there, like
Mm.
um
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like I've only gotten to episode 5. I don't know about you two.
Same.
But like what I liked about these first couple episodes is like you were just saying, like the high intensity, like I don't know, your fucking anxiety's going like all the time. And like that's what you told me before I even watched the first season. And like every episode of the first season is like that.
Right.
And there are like a couple episodes so far in these 5 episodes that are just like more like chill. Like the episode where Marcus goes to Copenhagen, like he's just chilling, like baking some food. Like I don't know, it was
Learning
like a
shit.
nice. Yeah, like it was like a nice change of pace, you know, where it's not all like
Definitely.
super fucking hectic the whole time, you know.
I remember like getting like like halfway through the season and being like, this, like, you know, it's like way too I mean, he even says it
I'm
like when he's in the
assuming it's gonna
locker
pick
room.
up,
Yeah, that's
like-
what I was like. I'm just like waiting for it to like the shit hit the fan, because like you know it's coming. But yeah, like all these characters grow a lot more in this season. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but Richie becomes one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
In the show.
All of
See
them.
it,
He's
like,
pretty low
Uncle-
key in the first half.
Yeah.
The uncle.
Well, like
guy,
I could see them like planting seeds though, at least like with that first,
Yeah.
you know, the very
Yeah,
first time you
scene.
see him in the show,
Sure.
like he's talking about
Yeah,
that book he's reading and stuff.
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah, I think the first season teed it up, and because the first season was pretty solid, but this season just I don't know.
Yeah.
They took what the first season gave them and just ran away with it, and it was great what they did.
Right.
And like, for the first 5 episodes, I think those were great, like in terms of developing the characters. But these last 5 episodes, it really kicks it into gear, and it just it mixes the good anxiety with some of the feel good stuff that you're seeing. But yeah, it's. I say, to answer your question earlier, Matt, it's better than the first season, and I think I was excited to watch every episode, like just binge it. I couldn't
Nice.
stop. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, it was hard to stop at episode 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's what I guess like before it came out, we were all saying that we wanted it to be weekly, and I was too. And I remember watching The Bear for the first time. I binged the first season. I watched them all in a row, and Hulu definitely knew what they had with this show. It's like, to me, it's like this is one of the best mixes of TV writing and like movie pacing writing.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's tight. It's like 20 minutes, 26 minutes, so you do want more. And like it just never lets up, never really gives you that chance to not want more. I don't know. It's just I was against it, the binge, but like I find that some shows it's not one size fits all. Because like even with Righteous Gemstones, I think I could binge that show. Like
I did.
so right. I mean, and while you're watching week to week, it's nice, but certain shows, I think maybe you could do like 3 episodes at a time or something, because that's how I like to watch stuff sometimes too. So I don't know. I don't think everything should be weekly, just due to The Bear and how much you want to watch the next episode. And if you had to wait, I think this audience would lose interest a little bit, maybe. But I don't
I
know.
think it's
It
just
kind
the
of
way
just fits. Yeah, go ahead.
it's the way it's paced. I mean, they're 35-minute
Yep.
episodes, except for a couple that are like an hour.
Short.
But there's like the 35-minute ones where it's just high octane. Like even in the season 1 where it's the oneer and it's like 23 minutes, but you're like, it felt like 5 minutes, So it's just how it's paced, I guess. But like if it's like Ozark, when they were releasing 3 at a time, I thought that worked pretty well. It's just the problem with like stuff like Ozark, it was forgettable after the binge, and same with Stranger Things. It was just kind of forgettable after it happened. But with The Bear, when you have such great character writing, the binge works because obviously the pacing, but also the characters, and you're still thinking about them after the fact. So if it's impactful, I think the binge could totally be pulled off. I mean, that's how I caught up on a lot of shows back in like Breaking Bad. I mean, that stuck with me forever. But I binged all those to catch up to the last season when it was airing weekly. So, but I don't know.
I do feel like a little like blurriness in these first 5 episodes. Like I wish I felt more distinctness, but that's kind of what I'd say, where it's like this feels like one long movie. Where it's like I feel like this is a show I'm more open to rewatch because it's so like brisk and it doesn't like dip anytime. But like that makes I guess like each individual episode suffers because of that, if it makes sense. But not in like the long run, because the overall story is paced so well that it's like
Right.
I just want to watch the whole story when I watch it. It's weird. It's cool though.
That's
Yeah, it's definitely special. And like, I mean, for a show that's like all about like precision and like perseverance and technique and like battling those demons, man. It's an emotional roller coaster, this show. Like I'm like feeling for Carmi, like feeling for his sister and Richie and like Sydney and like all these people. It's like it just nails so many things. The music, dude, even like I've like saved some songs.
Great
from
choices.
There's some solid tracks. But.
There's like an unabashedness to this show that's like very genuine too. Like with especially like the music choices, where it's like, this is a classic and we're gonna play it and you're gonna fucking like it because it's a good song and it's a good moment. So yeah. I thought overall, like instantly, this opening to the whole series of this second season, the part 2 of it all, was like super low key compared to the first episode of the show, where it just gets cut. Carmi's like getting the meat ready for the fucking day or whatever. This one is just like Marcus, like at his mom's side or his grandma's side, or I think his mom. But I don't know. It's like very, like you said, it's a great continuation of what they'd sprung from in the first episode or from the first season. And it's just like a nice, like they let off on a high, and it's like, where do you go? You don't want to just dip straight back into anxiety, even though they have a new form of anxiety, I guess we can go into. But yeah, I don't know. They're not worried to like let it sit now in the second season, which is nice. They gave it 10 episodes, like.
Yeah. I don't want to give away too much, but I don't think, because like you said, they do tend to blur for like to get the whole picture. But there's a Christmas episode.
That's the next one. They haven't got there yet.
Is it that next? Okay, I won't go any
That's
further.
where
But
it
it's a
turns
fucking
up.
doozy. Yeah. Exactly. You get a
Yeah,
lot of
well,
background
shows up.
between. Whoo, baby.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Family action. But I guess like since we only have, I guess me and Joe have only watched the first 5, but I think some of the, I guess, gripes overall, because we didn't watch the whole season, is like it's a lot of setup for me. I don't know what you felt like, Joe, but there's a lot of seeds with Sugar, like her pregnancy, the signing that we'll talk later, Chef. I assume that's coming later. Like there's just like key writing moments that are like
that guy.
Nugget,
I can't remember
like,
his name, but he's always like smoking cigars, or like he was like at the lakefront smoking a cigar. Like I'm wondering, like I assumed he quit. I don't know if that's like actually, like I don't know, but like
it doesn't give you a lot of info, right?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm assuming I can't remember her name. What the older woman chef?
The older chef, yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt singing.
Yeah, I couldn't remember her name. Because you're talking about when she walks in. I assumed that she was gonna talk to him about Ibra. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
About like him quitting or whatever. But I don't know. That actually never really happened
It has,
in that episode.
The
or
character
as far as I know.
paths, yeah, they're not as like defined in this season, I'd say too. Like they're kind of all up in the air a little bit without giving you that info. Like them getting trained as like fine dining chefs or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it's a nice like projection.
And
it's just not a lot of emphasis on it, if that makes sense. But you have to balance it, all these characters. I guess it's tough, how to.
Well, like I don't know. I feel like that's what you were saying, Alex. Like at the beginning, like that's how you like. I'm assuming they're all going to come back together, like, and that's how you make it like actually like meaningful, like for these characters, because like they all like had to do these things and take these steps to like get, to be a team,
world.
I guess. Like,
it's a whole new world where they're switching from just a, Philly steak roast beef joint in Chicago to like a
fine dining
Michelin
they want to get like 1 star.
That's cool.
Man, like Sydney's fucking like just going through it though, like because she has made, I don't know, she keeps making like the ravioli or like pasta, and it just like is not working out. And I'm assuming they'll come up with like good shit for the menu. It's just like I feel like she is,
right now it's like they're just yelling random ingredients and being like fucking cherry vinegar. And when they said cherry vinegar, I was like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like they don't really know what they're making yet either, though.
Chaos.
But like I don't know, I feel like like at this point in the show, most of the characters are like happy or like have stuff going on. I guess in like Sydney, well, I guess in Richie kinda, but like that's just because of his life. Sydney, I feel like has like really been struggling just because of that, and I feel like I don't know. It's almost like at the point where like she's like, it seems like she's almost gonna be like done or like through with it, but like I know she's not. Well, maybe she won't. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the tease that she has another career path with her dad. So, I mean, it's obviously a door that they can go down if they want to. But,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. To me, I was like, I like this season a lot. It's great. And I felt like it, I don't know. I got to watch till the end because I think it's like one cohesive story.
yeah.
But I just didn't really I found some of the forward like expectations that are being thrust upon us as an audience of like the business side of the operation. I get like I think we have like that's a new flavor of anxiety now is like we got to open in 7 weeks. Holy fuck, we
Like-
didn't get that thing signed.
Like
we didn't
long
get the
term anxiety
Yeah.
instead of like short term.
yeah. I like the anxiety of the choice that they're showing, which is like Sydney going all to all these restaurants trying to draw like it's like what are our
Mhm.
colors, what are we, like what's the dishes we're choosing. I like all that. It's something about like Sugar constantly being in like this like state of like we got to do this. That something in that side of it is like not. It's too straining for me. Maybe I'm just not liking it because it's inducing anxiety like that. But like, it's just a little too forced for me at the moment.
I guess,
Specifically
like, I
with
don't
her
know.
character. I don't know.
Personally, I didn't even really. I don't know. I feel like I was just like chilling watching. I don't know. I feel like I didn't really like. Yeah, I feel the urgency, but like it was like definitely a lot different. It seemed like lower
More laid
than
back.
like
Yeah.
than the first season. Like
But,
that's
like,
I don't know.
under control more.
Yeah, like it's not
yeah.
like it's not like you get a fucking 100 Grubhub orders and you gotta fill them all. Like I don't know.
Maybe
Like,
that's
your
the
shot,
problem.
like-
Chicken.
Maybe that's the problem is like Sugar comes in and is like, we only
And
have
it's like-
7 weeks. It's like,
yeah, so like she's trying to like
yeah,
like,
she's like,
push that.
well, she's
or
like,
like her character's like trying to push the anxiety,
Yeah.
like in the same
She
sense
has
that, like,
to
the
now.
last season did. Yeah.
right. She has to be
And-
the one that's like constantly
And that
thrusting it
kid is
forward.
gonna be so fucking anxious.
Well, I mean,
Hungry and anxious.
if you're looking for
Yeah.
like season 1 in your face anxious, just watch.
It's
the next
probably in the
episode.
next 5 episodes.
Just
I assumed it
Yeah,
would pick up
for
because
real.
like like
That's
the pace of like the weeks because they said it would be like 6 months and then like the next episode was like 11 weeks or 10 weeks or something like that.
That's
And then
pretty
I think where they left off they had like 6 or 7 weeks left.
That seems right.
But like it seemed like they did not have a problem with like skipping forward in time. So like I assumed there was they'll either get to the open though I assumed they would get to the opening of the restaurant by the end of the season.
Right, for sure.
Yep. You're
Maybe even the
on
next
par
episode, like you
with that
said.
guess. No,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm looking
What-
forward to you guys finishing it. I just would like to, 'cause
Yeah.
like I said, I just think, like, I agree with the first 5 episodes being slower and less of the anxiety, which I thought was kind of refreshing from the first
Much
season.
needed. Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it just, the payoff of all that, the first 5 episodes is really nice coming up. So just trust the process because I didn't trust not that I didn't trust the process. I don't have faith in most processes of TV shows these days, but
It's hard to.
but this one kind of changed my mind a little bit. So
Yeah,
it's good.
for sure. I just like you said, it's slower. Like it's much needed in this first half. But I loved like even the first episode when it's like, and like the opening scene when Carmi like walks down to see Richie in the basement. He's like talking
That's my
about purpose
purpose.
and yeah, and like
I don't
they
have time
share
to talk this right now.
yeah, it's like yeah.
I
And then
love
later,
you. I don't have time for this.
later, like he's like he's like, I'm on the operating table, chef. He's like, purpose. Good point, chef. Like he's fixing the poster when they're trying to open a fucking restaurant. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just good moments. This show's like packed with them, with like little moments that like go so far. I feel like, the way like characters communicate with each other and they're all like on their own journeys. They're all working towards the same thing, but it like still leads to dysfunction, because that's just like the way it fucking is.
Communication.
Yeah.
I might just binge the rest of this shit tonight.
Worth it, man. Yeah.
Actually, I got poison ivy, and so I got I get pretty bad reaction to it. So I went and got a prednisone shot in my ass, and it kept me up all night. So I just was like, all right, I'm gonna watch The Bear then. So I just watched like the entire show in a day. So
Me too.
Nice.
Did it all in one sitting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you want to move on to the next? We'll move on to Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, Jamestones. Yeah. So I caught up on because I hadn't seen the second season either, so I did the second and third
I'm still
up to
catching
where
up.
we
but
are at. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it's
Gotcha. I mean, I don't
still-
have like
Have you seen
lot
all
of
of the
stuff to
second
talk.
season, Alex?
I have not. No.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what did you say, Matt?
I mean, there's not much to talk about yet because it's kind of the same boat for the Bear for me, where it's like early season, you know.
Yeah.
Days.
The
Shit, I don't know. I
setup
mean, I think like generally, like from the last season too, you kind of knew, or like just regularly in the show, Eli is like. I feel like it's really similar to Succession in the sense that like Eli is really like Logan, where he's kind of like built this up and he like knows how to work it and he like knows the ins and outs, and like the
Kids
kids are
don't.
kind of like the kids have no fucking idea, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all of them are like vying for power, and like I don't know, they would probably fuck each other over to
Yeah, I mean, the first season of this show felt like a different show, and then they watched Succession, and then they're like, "Oh, that's okay. Well, we'll write that show now." You know, like
yeah, I get it, but like I don't know, honestly, because I mean the second season was more like that. But even like I texted you, I think when I started like the first or second episode, and I'm like, just like the family dynamic in their structure is like pretty much exactly the same as Succession, even from the get go. You know, so
yeah.
I mean, like almost all of them are like exactly the same. You know, like
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know if they like modeled it off of that or if they just was like, I imagine that they wrote Gemstones and then they watched Succession and they're like, dude, we have the same dynamic. Holy shit. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's good work, you know, and they just like realized how they could like structure everything. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like general consensus, this is one of my favorite comedy shows on air. I think it'll be in my top 10 this year, probably, potentially. Yeah, I don't know. It's just hits notes that some other comedy shows try to hit that they can't. And I don't know. I like the characters. I love like Judy, especially, is someone that I can't take my eye off of, as like comedically. So like,
Yeah.
it's fun. I don't know. It's good shit.
Fucking
Like
Baby
Bryce
Billy
knows how
too,
to do
man.
it.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
that's good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see like where this season ends up because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Eli's kind of out, so like
Probably come back, right?
with where
Come
they're.
back
I
in
mean,
by
like,
then.
I don't want to like spoil it, you know. So I mean, like, but like I do like some of the stuff that they've like some of the characters that they've introduced in this new season and like the kind of the direction that they're going. Not as far
Yeah.
as like the kids with the church. That I'm kind of like not. I'm assuming it'll turn
Kinda
around.
same old,
That's not
but-
really what I'm that interested in. More
Mhm.
what I'm interested in is like this radical Christian group.
For
That's
sure.
like
Yeah.
the side I'm really
Yeah.
interested in.
True.
So
Yeah. So glad that like Steve Zahn is going to be like the villain this season. It looks
Yeah.
like, you know, like, yeah. And that's like such a fun idea as like the hillbilly, like radical religious family. It's like still family, but kind of fucked up and weird. And I don't know. It's just like a nice like parallel to what religion is as well. You know, like there's the devout people who go to church, and then there's like the hillbilly who think they
Fanatics.
really know God.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
man, I feel like part of it's kind of
Podcasts.
fucking scary because like I'm assuming people like that actually exist. You know, like
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
fucking wild.
I had a question, I guess, like of the writing overall for Gemstones is in the second season, it really stood out too. So maybe it's more fresh for people, but the use of like personalized like groups or like followings in the Gemstones show is like so like prolific. Like each character has like their own tiny cult
Yeah.
following that is like geared towards them that they can like utilize in any moment. With like in the second season, Jesse had like his little man squad that he brought around, and then Kelvin has like the bodybuilders or like the anti-sex brigade now, like,
Yeah.
and then even like the pro wrestlers was like a squad. It's like these little factions, you know. It's like,
Mhm.
which makes sense for like religion, and it all kind of like works together. But I was just curious what you guys thought about it, because at a certain point it felt a little lazy. That's all I was like kind of getting at.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
Convenient.
or it's just like you're doing the same thing too many times, and it's like it does feel a little too convenient.
Hey, I
right?
mean,
Like,
weren't we talking about Eastbound and Down? How it literally ended this? Like every season pretty much ends the same. Like,
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's just like the mechanics of story felt like each character could do the same thing, if that makes sense. Like,
I get.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, maybe it's because I've seen a little bit farther in, but yeah, I get the sense that that's like kind of the direction they were headed. Even in the third season, is like the kids are still kind of like fucking up. Like, you know what I mean? They still like don't like they're not growing. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're kind
Yeah,
of stuck as kids, Eli's
they
kids,
don't
and they
have the
like
love that
yeah,
Eli
Yeah.
has or whatever.
right. So that's I kind of like forgave it for that because I was like, okay, that's kind of they're treading water. These characters, they haven't grown up. Like they don't really know what's going on, or like, which is, yeah, I don't know. Gideon is actually like Gideon and like Keith are like some
Keith, man.
undersold characters that I'm like waiting
Yeah.
for their meteoric rise. But
Right.
yeah.
I like how Gideon basically, whenever the writers want to have an action sequence now, they just know
or
that
some
they can
badass
pull out.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can pull out a badass driver now anytime they want.
Oh,
Like,
man. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm curious, do you guys ever think long term are Kelvin and Keith ever gonna like hook up? Like they
Like
It's
I
like
feel
Keith
like
every
they have
conversation.
to, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
like, but I guess like it like kind of depends because like what you were saying, Noah, like, dude, since like the first episode of the show, I feel like the characters, like to their core, have not really changed that much. Like,
Mhm.
or as far as the siblings go, like the kids,
Yeah.
like yeah, they've had like struggles and like yeah, they've like kind of had like I guess like in the very first season, I guess Jesse kind of like changed his outlook on his like family and shit and like
Mhm.
tried to be less of an asshole, but he's still like doing that stuff. Like as far as where he's not like cheating on his wife, but he still does like I mean the season
Selfish
opens
asshole shit.
on him like beating the shit out of some dude. So I mean like with this gang. So like
Yeah.
I mean like there hasn't been that
Yeah.
much character development. So like if they do end up like I don't know this season or the next season or like I don't know how many seasons they plan on doing for the show or if there is an endpoint in mind.
Mhm.
I mean I would assume that they'll fucking have to change and that would be like the main
ultimate-
focus of Kelvin's story. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah,
It's
but
the
that's
end goal,
true.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean I would assume right? I mean like I don't know.
I was just thinking about it, but like, do you think these characters? I could picture this show being like Succession-ish, but by the end of it, the family's all broken up, and we see kind of where they've all landed now. I don't know. I just don't imagine these are characters that deserve all the redemption by the end of it either, because they're obviously, like you said, they're not growing or changing or wanting to, or like they're all very selfish and self-oriented. So it's like, do they deserve to like win the church back and like live on as like gemstones, or do they like split off and do their own gemstone shit? You know, like
I really
Yeah.
don't know. I was talking to one of my friends about I told him I started watching Righteous Gemstones and I also told him that I, had binged all of Danny McBride's shit. And before I watched any of it, he told me that like Danny McBride just has this way of like writing these like really flawed or shitty characters, but like you still like feel for them sometimes, or like he just has like a good way of like humanizing them sometimes. And I don't know. I feel like that's what draws you into the characters, really. I mean, like, I don't know. Because, like, yeah, they're bad people, but, like, you can still see their humanity most of the time. Like, because they, I don't know, are just in sometimes relatable situations or, like, in interactions with other people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like Judy and
their
BJ
family life.
are like a good example of that. Where
Yeah.
it's like they're trying, man. Like they're trying to figure out this relationship thing. They're both really not healthy for each other, probably. But well, BJ's definitely healthy, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Kind of, yeah, maybe not.
dude, I loved their painting, their wall painting of just like them nude,
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so weird. It's just I don't know. Judy's my favorite character. But also, I just wanted to shout out the costume design in this show. I don't know if you guys have like, it's just like some of the like outfits, mostly for Judy and Amber. Those dresses are like popping every time. But even like Danny McBride's, he's like the suits. If you look at them, they're like way flourishy than they
And,
need
like,
to
the
be.
fucking, like, thing. I don't know what it's called. but,
Yeah.
like, or, like,
Like
I
an
think he
ascot
was
or some
wearing that, I
shit.
guess, in, like, the second season, when they go to Texas and meet Derek Andre. And shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're always like a little bit too like more fly than they should be or something. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like good costume design. Whoever's making those decisions.
Definitely.
I don't know. Like I said, this one hits notes. Like it hits drama. It hits like story. It hits like a niche of like Southern religion that not really many shows have done, I guess, like to this degree. But then it also like can break out into a fucking knife fight, and like the way that they know how to shoot comedy too, man. Like they just know how to pace it when they can turn up the tone at moments and just like dial it back down without it becoming too cartoony. In the show, it's like it's really well done. So
That's how I felt about Vice Principals too, in my opinion. That one just slaps. So.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Like
I mean,
it
like,
gets so extreme, but at the same time, it wasn't like okay, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a couple times where you thought it was gonna go that far, but it's just the way they play it off. It just works. So
right, they can always bring it back somehow.
yeah.
Like this one, I mean, like the way that the things that made me laugh out loud were like the baby eating cigarette butts and shit. Like out in the like he's choking, and they're like, no, not him, like not the baby. It's good shit, but yeah, I'm excited to see where what'll go.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Same.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable.
Moving on then. What's next here? Oh, it's always sunny.
Sunny on the list.
Yeah, I figured we just do a quick chat. I don't know if anybody's watching it right now. I
watched
haven't
the
keeping
first
up.
2
so.
episodes.
Okay.
I think I watched the most recent one last night, but I wasn't paying like that much attention. But I've been liking them so far. I've actually
I
liked
like
the
'em.
season a lot. I don't know.
Really?
I like the
I
season
like
better
'em.
than the last season.
Really?
So
Yeah, is that
But
the last
yeah, I
one they
don't
went to Ireland, right?
Yeah, I
yeah,
really liked that season.
it was
That
good.
was-
Yeah.
That was like a good comeback from a couple previous seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
for
think
that.
like that
Cut
was
off at
kind of
10.
because like I don't know, some of the most recent seasons, like the last season, yeah, the Ireland thing, I did actually kind of like. And initially, I wasn't really on board because like I mean they're supposed to be shitty characters, but I think it was you, Alex, who said like in a previous episode that we were doing that like they I mean after you've been doing the show for that long, like you might as well have these characters like have some kind of growth or like have them
Own
actually be
ounce.
like good or something. So like the whole thing where Charlie met his actual dad and shit was actually that was pretty cool in the last season at least.
Yeah, this season feels a little too I don't know, it's like too safe for me almost. Like
It is. I noticed that in the first 2. That I mean, I've only watched the first 2, but it does feel like I don't know, not like
it's like
I
they
get
have a
what you're saying.
podcast now and they like are too meta about their own thinking or
Yeah.
something now. I don't know.
And they're
Maybe I'll
editing.
keep going.
I mean I
think
haven't
I
listened
think
to the
they're pretty good,
podcast.
but like it's just not. It's too much. I don't know. Too long, maybe. I don't know. It's just.
I mean I get
Maybe I
it.
need to see the characters change more because like that is like it's too cartoony almost now that they're referencing that they're 50 years old and like they're still doing and acting the same ways almost. But I don't know. What were you saying, Joe?
I mean like the first episode's like the inflation one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it's just like-
I did like that one.
I think it's just like some of these episodes have been just like like they normally do. They're more relevant to like what's going on, I guess, like
Yeah.
in day to
Yeah,
day.
I mean the
So, like,
chess one,
I think
obviously.
like it's just I don't know if you wanted more controversial shit. Like you could pull more stuff, I guess, but like I don't know. Maybe it's just there's not that much stuff that they could do that's considered not as safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess also it's like, what am I looking for these characters? I don't really know because like with Dennis specifically, I'm like, that's not really the Dennis I know anymore because I feel like, what's his nuts, the actor doesn't really want to push Dennis to that level anymore
Dude,
because he doesn't want to be viewed as like a psychopath anymore, which I get.
you
But also
watched
it's like the
Sin
characters don't feel the same then. What's that?
you watched the Sinned episode, right? Where it's the
The
Dennis
Sinned?
hits him backwards.
Yeah.
Are just fucking ridiculous. I don't know.
Right. I mean, they're trying to like bring it back a little bit, but it's just
I
like,
get what you mean, but like I think it was like when I was kind of reiterating what Alex said a while ago. I mean, like eventually, I feel like you hit a point with these characters, unless you're gonna stop the show because like they started off as shitty characters. I mean, they're supposed to be that way so they can tell
Right.
like show you how shitty like normal people's way of thinking is, or if you like you're a person who thinks a specific way, like it's supposed to show you how fucking dumb you are. But
Right.
like eventually, once the show is going on for that long, I mean, like I guess like
They're just like
That's the
parodies now
question.
almost.
If you want the characters to be like to change or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost parodying it now itself almost, or the characters are like eating themselves now because it's gone too long. But
Right,
Mhm.
right.
yeah, I don't know. We don't really have to talk about It's Always Sunny yet, unless like we want to talk like maybe at the end of the season or something just to wrap it
We
up.
can do a
But
season
Yeah,
wrap-up.
some highlights. Yeah,
yeah,
You know,
for
talk
sure.
about their favorite moments or whatever.
Yeah. Shall we get into some movie talk now? Moving on to the big screen.
Yeah,
Sure.
I've only seen
Cool.
the two that are on here, obviously, because we
Extraction 2
discussed
and
the other. Yeah, and then obviously
Director's
our
Dive.
director's dive. But I'm interested about the Across the Spider-Verse bullshit. That is it good? Is
Yeah.
it-
I figured we'd do a little chat. I don't know. We didn't talk about this one yet, have we?
Yeah. No, we haven't.
What do you guys think? I mean, me and Noah went and saw it when it came out. I remember that, but
I mean, I liked it. Yeah.
yeah.
I was not expecting like there to be
You
basically
party.
a cliffhanger, like where it
Yeah.
is not resolved. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Overall, I thought it was good. As like, I mean, as a person who like, I mean, I literally have the Spider-Verse comic like right over there. Like, and I've also read
Prove
like
it.
Miles
No,
Morales'
I'm just
like origin story. And, like, it's like kind of like a combination of the two. And honestly, I like this as Miles Morales' origin story better than the comics did it. Like, this seems like, in my opinion, I like it better.
Ooh.
And I mean, it's not actually like, you know, following Spider-Verse, but I feel like they reworked it in like a neat way that's like fun. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I had a
Nice.
great time with it. Honestly, I thought it was just as good as the first one, if not better. So,
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
much how I felt too.
Yeah,
I liked it. I think I'm waiting because it feels incomplete to me. I mean, obviously it is in quotes, but overall, I think it just like lacked the harnessed focus of the first film, but
Yeah,
not to its detriment, but to its like success. Like it has to like now like dive into the characters like in a certain way that like
Yeah.
because this movie started with Miles Morales, then it kind of shifts over to Gwen Stacy.
At the beginning of this
kinda
episode,
gets-
or this,
I think it's back to Miles at the end of it. You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's like putting things on the back burner hardcore. It felt
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, if you watched this one and I don't know, whenever the new one comes out, if you watch them back to back, if it'll feel like it flows
cohesive.
well. Yeah. You know, like if
wonder
that was
too.
the whole plan the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
I think the
don't
first
know.
one's got a magic to it, obviously, that most first
Mhm.
films have.
Yeah.
But I'm holding my like. I don't think it's a bad movie at all because the animation is maybe the best I've ever seen, straight up. So like, it's fucking
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's cool,
And
yeah. Yeah.
but I am feeling like this third film has a lot of pressure now because it needs to feel like one cohesive journey because of the second film
like the
feeling
Dark
so
Knight trilogy.
complete.
Yeah.
That one feels even more like tailored. This one feels more like we dropped you off when we stopped animating. You know, like I don't know. That's just a little bit of like it's like we didn't really get anywhere. We just got a hype moment at the end that's really going to tease us for next time, but it's not an end of any journey or not even like a stopping point really. It's just like a tune in next time, you know, like
Mhm.
We'll be right back.
when we animate for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually read an
Grind it
article
away.
like earlier this week. I think that like a shit ton, like 100 people at least, like animators, like left this project.
I saw that. Yeah.
I didn't really like read specifics. I assume it was like, you know, shitty deadlines and working conditions. You know, like,
I did read it, and it's kind of disappointing because it's mostly about Phil Lord, who's like I've been on the Lord and Miller train since they started making good shit, obviously, but he apparently it's like painting him in a light that he's like too commanding or he doesn't understand how animation works, and he wants like full rendered things to look at or something like that. To be quite honest, I could understand that side of it, but I also think from what the article I read, it seemed like a lot of the animators, obviously they're pushing way more hours than they need to be, but it seemed like they didn't want to do the work twice, which to me is like what animating kind of is. So I don't know. I think like it's like when you draw something and you get a note from the director, that's your job now to
Right.
do it differently. Like I don't know. It's like an artist's.
It's like the same thing in like music. You know, if
Yeah,
like
you gotta iterate.
you're like making a song and like a producer comes up to you and tells you like this isn't gonna work, like you're gonna have to change this, and you're like not receptive to that, then like
Right.
you're not gonna go far. Like
You're gonna be pissed
Like,
off
it's like-
because you just drew this.
and
you
yeah, like-
yeah, I get it.
I don't
Like, I
know.
totally
Or
get
it's
it,
like
but,
it's like getting like reviewing anybody's work in any field. I mean, like I was talking to my uncle about this like a couple months ago because he's a civil engineer and he fucking hates getting people to review his work. And then I straight up asked it that we're getting off topic here. But anyway, I think personally everybody could benefit from somebody looking over their work in whatever field or whatever.
Fresh
sense.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the boring ass field I'm in, it like if I have to work extra just because we have to meet a certain deadline, which happens pretty frequently, I mean, you just do it. I mean, I'm on
Mhm.
salary. It's not like I'm getting paid more to stay after, but I do it because it's my job and I'm committed to doing that job, you know? I don't know, it's just kind of what you sign up for. I mean, it can be in excess where it's like 100 plus hours over, but I don't know. I mean, like
Yeah.
recently, again, getting a little off topic, but like recently I didn't even go home for like 3 days because we had like this audit going on. So like I stayed up in the area so I could just be ready for anything. And we were there till from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then we'd get dinner with the people and stuff. So it's just, you do what you have to
Nice.
do. It's
Yeah.
not like an everyday thing, but if you want a great product and you want to succeed, sometimes you just got to push the limits, I guess. But
You know,
Well,
it's also
No, I was just iterating that it goes a long ways usually with the people you're working with.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, this guy stuck
Yeah.
around, actually like made shit happen. So people appreciate that.
I mean, especially with like the art aspect of it. I mean, if they want it to be good and be what it is, where it's like this iconic piece of art, like the first Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse when it came out, it was like this huge deal. Obviously, it changed the way animation's been created since. There's Puss in Boots, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's another one I can't think of the name, but they have that art style. So I mean, they changed something with their hard work.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, sure, you work the extra hours and now you're complaining about it, but you're still doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like the only problem would be if you like have a grind for 2 years. Sure, man. I mean, then you just have a bad scheduler. Like straight up, like the
Yeah,
industry
that's
needs
true.
reform.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
like, but
also like so like the Secret Invasion just came out and like apparently the intro was done
AI
like some
generated.
guy
yeah.
just used AI with it. And I was like reading an article about it and like how it was basically what I was saying like previously, but I don't think I think the same way now. Because I had said like if you use it as a tool, good, like go for it. But like I feel like that could just really easily get out of hand, especially in Disney's hands. Because like if you start using it as a tool, you got to set limits. Otherwise, it's going to be creating all of your content.
yeah.
And like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess
That's
like that just like kind of because like you were saying, like basically what we've been talking about, like these people working overtime, all these extra hours and shit to put in this like to meet these deadlines. If you start implementing these AI tools, then
You
like
don't need them anymore.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess I don't know.
And for
No, I
Disney,
mean, it's
that feels
tough.
like super natural just to like plug the machine in, right? I don't know. It
Mhm.
seems like a very Disney thing to do if it's just trying to make live action remakes and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough because like I think that there's just certain industries that you shouldn't implement AI into, but it's mostly just like preliminary stuff. I don't know, because like I don't think you should do any AI writing, just at all. Like, and straight up, it needs to be a human voice. But then like as far as like the AI credits go, as long as like a Disney animator came in and drew the preliminary starting boards, I'm kind of like okay with it, but I also think it's lazy, so like
It's lazy.
maybe it's just like a taste thing that'll hopefully come around after 10 years of AI shit where it's like, that's AI, fucking, that sucks, like
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, or it's just going to be so good that you can't tell. But,
Watch it be like the difference between like niche artists, like the sections
people
of
who
artists, people who
craft shit now,
yeah,
like
exactly.
it's just going to be more
like,
of a,
this guy's a specialist, and this guy works for this AI
Maybe.
conglomerate.
Yeah. there's more value attached, but then like it's cheaper overall to do the AI. So it's like,
Mhm.
what's the market, I guess, or what's like the value
product?
of
Or
it?
are you trying to? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very tough question, and there's definitely not an answer for it. So, at the moment,
Yeah.
but
Maybe,
yeah, I mean,
maybe we'll find out more after the writer strikes resolves and stuff.
see what
Maybe
they make the deal. Yeah.
maybe something will happen.
Yeah, I guess have there been like any updates on anything as far as the writer's strike goes?
Apparently, the SAG-AFTRA is very close to striking with them now because their contract's about to expire. So
That's the Actors Guild.
So I mean, if they have that, I think that's that's the next thing to wait for. To then like to see if like the talks get more serious or like what the actual stakes are. So, but
Makes sense.
yeah, it's gonna suck too because like we're not feeling any of the writer strike right now because like fucking the Bear Gemstones. Oh my god, it's so much
We've,
shit now.
Yeah, we
Like
probably will,
next
like,
year,
in a year
early
or
next
two,
year, we're
yeah.
gonna have nothing to watch, dude. It's gonna
Yeah.
suck. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, while we got stuff to watch, might as well talk about it, right? So, you guys good on Spider-Verse? Got any other comments?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
moving
think,
on.
but yeah, I think I'm good. Probably.
I like the villain. The villain was goofy as fuck. And
Spot?
actually,
Spot,
yeah. That
Yeah,
was
me
funny.
too. He
That's
like
another-
escalated in a way that I didn't expect. Like
Yeah.
his serious, like his final form or whatever the fuck he did. You know,
Yeah.
like,
You know, like
That's cool.
originally I was thinking because I knew that there would be another one before I went to go see this. So like I knew there would be a third movie, but I didn't know that like, you know, this one would lead right into the next one. I thought it would
Yeah.
be like more of like, you know, the first one to this one. Because like I thought they would actually introduce like the villain from the Spider-Verse comic, but that is not going to be the case. So,
Nah.
but which I'm cool with actually, because like this villain is actually like really interesting and
Seems
quirky.
cool. He's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different.
Yeah, and he's like tied to Miles Morales' like origins, so like I feel
Yeah.
like
I
that's
mean,
even better.
They
like,
pulled the biggest deep cut that they could have out
I
of the
mean,
first movie
yeah,
for him,
definitely,
right?
like-
The bagel guy. That was
Yeah.
about it. So,
Yeah,
There you go,
that's
yeah.
all I got though. Yeah.
shall we move into Extraction 2? High
But,
octane.
I
Chris
haven't seen
Hemsworth
this, so I'm
Netflix
gonna
movie.
take a quick potty break. But guys, go at it. Yeah, be back.
Man, I think there's no fucking way that he would have lived after the first movie. He's dead. He's dead. He got
Can
shot
John
through the
Wick
neck,
die?
dude. There's no fucking way. He's gonna bleed
you
out right
see,
there on
he
the
did-
fucking bridge.
The thing is, he did die, and then they watched John Wick 3, and they were like, "Fuck it, bring him back."
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
He's
dude,
not
like
dead.
also at the
He can
end
get
of
out
the
of that.
first movie, I'm pretty sure like you see him in like because the kid from the first movie is like swimming, and I thought you saw him in the background of the pool. Is that I could be wrong? I mean, I just watched
It's
it.
been
but,
a
like,
while. Yeah.
I didn't know.
remember
I
that one.
thought they just showed him like in the background of the.
Yeah.
I don't. I could go back. I was gonna go back and like look, but then I just totally forgot. But
It's an Easter egg, dude.
But dude, he
You're the
totally
only
did.
guy that noticed.
I mean, like he fell into the water too, washed up on the beach. How much time is that? I mean, like if you get shot through the neck anyway, if you're holding that, like you're gonna bleed out through the inside of your, because like you're gonna be, it's just gonna be leaking down your throat. Like
Bro, he
he's dead. Like
extracted the bullet. He's the extractioner. He's fucking. This is what he does.
fucking
dude.
bullshit. All right, but that's all I'm gonna say. You guys can just go for it now.
And I don't know. I don't really want to. What do you think, Alex? What's
Now, the first one was subpar. The second one was, I mean, if you just take the first one away, the second one was perfectly fine. It was a fun action movie, well choreographed, some good one-ers, just fun action sequences that was like, I'm interested, I'm in. And right when you're getting bored with the action
Yeah.
sequences, they give you a little meat, and then they give you more action. And then when you're getting
keep looking,
bored
buddy?
with
Keep
that-
looking.
Yeah, there was a lot of. It was good
Yeah.
shit too. Like it was pretty good action shit.
It
Except
was.
for
Yeah.
the chick. Her name is Nick, I think, or Nix. There was like one scene on the train where like she's fighting two dudes in like the engine room.
Yeah.
And it was like just so slow. Like the court. Like I don't like.
They're
I don't
running
know.
at
It
speed.
just it looked bad, yeah, and
Yeah.
like, but everything else, like I thought was pretty good, except for moving from the prison to the train. It just like instantly turned to day. I don't know if you guys
Nice.
noticed that either. I just
I
thought that
didn't.
like it not really that relevant, but it was just like I'm like wait, I like went back and it's like pitch black in the in like the
No.
courtyard, and then it's like daylight.
Yeah. Okay. Different day, different location. Clearly filmed.
But it's
here.
like it led right into because it's like
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
getcha.
Yeah.
I
I
get
think
you,
Chris
man.
Hemsworth is does really well in this. this role
Yeah,
of just
I feel like
grunting
he
and
did.
beating the fuck out of people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought the action was decent. I thought this movie kind of sucked, honestly. I don't know.
it did what
I
it
mean,
needed
like,
to do.
I didn't
look,
think
it's
it
not
did
mine.
much.
There's a reason why I didn't watch the first one. Like,
I didn't
Yeah.
get the first one. Honestly, I don't know.
It was
understand the hype.
okay.
I just thought
Had
the
a
second
dope
Yeah.
one-
oneer, I remember, but other than
Yeah.
that,
That's it.
I couldn't tell you shit
I
about the
mean,
story.
The second one,
Story was
the
bad.
oneer
I mean,
that the
there's,
dope
like, nothing
oneer
to
that
it.
they had.
Dude,
Right.
why did David Harbour turn bad? Like, why did they have to kill his ass? Like, that was just weird.
I just don't even remember
That's
David
twist.
Harbour being in it. That's how much space
Yeah,
this
straight up.
occupied my mind.
Yeah.
I don't even
Right.
remember him in it.
But they showed
Yeah.
you the oneer, and like they released the oneer like 2 months ago,
I did like
Yeah.
and like
two
get
or
ready
three
for
oneers
Extraction
in this
2.
movie,
Here's the
though,
oneer.
in the
Just,
second one.
Spoiling it, personally.
I mean, they had the one feature one I thought, which is what they showed you, and then it like led on more than what they showed you a little bit, which was cool. But like, I don't know,
Yes.
man. I just don't give a fuck about these movies. Like to have like one stoic, terrible actor in the lead role. I'm like comparing it to John Wick now,
Matt,
but like
you're
it's like
definitely gonna be getting more. You saw how they left off.
Extraction 3, bro. More
They're
extractions with Idris
franchising this
Elba.
shit.
It's the
Yeah.
most streamed
That's-
movie on Netflix. So
It's
Yeah,
fucking.
what does that tell you, though? I mean, like, it's fucking
wild.
Netflix. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
people just want a good fucking action movie where it's just
No,
a
well,
good
okay.
time.
personally,
didn't
I
think it
was
was
just
good,
saying,
though. That's what I'm
Netflix
saying.
I'm not
people,
talking
they
about the
just
story.
want
I'm
just
just talking
any
about
new shit
Yeah.
to
A
watch.
a guy, a
Like,
competent
Yeah,
director
that's pretty
behind the
Dropbox.
camera, choreographing
Sir.
action sequences where you can just watch this stuff happen and it's fun. It reminds you of
Yeah.
like the '80s movies, like you have the Predator or
you know,
Rambo.
it
Or,
reminded me of, like, Steven
Mhm.
Seagal action movies. Like,
Yeah,
I
like
don't know
I
why.
just
Like,
like
there's
don't
not much
find
plot.
it to be.
It's just really just badass shit. Like,
Steven
It's
Seagal
not even that
sucks,
bad.
okay?
You think Steven Seagal's badass?
I watched Steven Seagal fight Tommy
No.
Lee Jones in this movie the other day that was on cable, and it was the
Like
saddest thing I've
slap
ever seen.
boxes.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, this is like the evolution of that, I would say.
Well, this is a better. I mean, it's evolved. It's grown legs. It's out of the ocean now.
Yeah.
All right, it's taken off.
Well, it definitely is. They already teased Extraction 3. Like,
Steven Seagal is just a slimy amoeba. All right,
Yeah,
that's all
he's-
he is.
it's bad. Yeah, no, yeah,
A
you're
mass of
right.
a man. Yeah.
I like the look of Chris Hemsworth as like an action guy, but there's nothing there to like signal to me that this guy should be an action. Like what is he good at? Like he's like the choreography he did was like that guy maybe kicked him more realistically than Keanu. You know, like
Okay.
but
Now-
everything around this movie is like such fucking schlocky shit. And then I
What's the fun
look
of
at who
it?
wrote it, and it's fucking what's his nuts, Joe Russo, and I'm like that. Oh
yeah.
of course, like
That's the problem.
that man is just writing espionage, fucking terrible action movies because I don't even like. I don't even understand like.
Gotta fill the hours. I don't know.
Yeah, to be. I mean, maybe it's just not my bag, but like honestly, I don't even think I'd want to write a movie like this. Like, if I was like told like, hey, you want to write an action movie? Like, it's called Distraction. Like, I'd be like,
Well, if there's a story behind
No.
it, if you care about how the action, that's why I think like Mission Impossibles go well because they actually have a compelling story and compelling
do.
characters.
no.
Those are two different ballparks.
I
This
don't
one,
know.
like
This
I
did
said,
not.
This is
This
like
did not have a compelling story. I mean, like,
no. The
Yeah,
story
yeah,
is
nothing.
bad. I
Neither
am
of
in
these,
with
like-
you guys there.
Yeah.
I am
But
there to
one
just
action
see-
sequence can't give the movie a good running,
Yeah.
a passing
I-
grade for me because it's like,
Look,
why don't you
I'm
just
just
make an action
saying,
sequence then? Don't
like
make a
I
movie.
said earlier, I watched this right after I watched Asteroid City, and like I still kind of enjoyed it. Like I know it's shit, but like, look,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like it is what it is. Like it's
It is what it
that
is, but
genre.
why?
Like,
Why is it?
Why
is it? You've made
because it's the
you put
fucking Netflix
100
people who just put out whatever the fuck they want. Like,
Well, I'm not
because
letting them
people
get
are just
away with
gonna
it.
watch it.
It
They
because
can't
it's
keep
not-
getting away with it, Joe. Okay,
They can.
You,
Because
you
there's a
keep
whole
putting
group
hundreds.
of people that's just gonna watch shitty TV.
Yeah,
Like it's
we did
just,
it.
That's it.
We did
like,
it. We
It's
gave
not
them the
action.
views.
If it's got
But,
action, if it's got people beating the fuck out of people, sign me up.
But why don't you just watch like Why don't you just watch like a fight? Like why don't like what is like the movie get? I would just like Google or YouTube like the action sequences then because to be quite honest, the hour and a half of movie was one of the most boring, like tedious things I've
It's
fucking
2 hours,
watched in
actually.
years.
They're both
It
2
was 2
hours.
hours.
They're
Yeah,
almost
okay.
exactly
It's
2 hours.
crazy, man.
I'm not,
It's like
I
a
said,
standard like stoic man being like, "Come here, son. You know, I'll teach you to keep you safe." And then like it's just
Yeah.
like
And then they
we've
try
seen
to
this
tie
movie
in some character
100
development.
times.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but the way
But he's just
it's choreographed,
he couldn't be a good
and-
dude though. He's just some shitty guy, like who's just some soldier's been killing
Yeah.
people his whole fucking
Fucking
life.
yes,
I mean,
man.
like,
That's all
Taking
I need.
orders.
Just
Okay?
go extract.
Every once in a while, I just like to sit there and watch a nice oneer through a prison yard onto a train where a helicopter
Yeah.
is taken down.
Oh,
and the
yeah, I was
train
gonna
blows
ask,
up, and
too.
It's just.
I mean,
fun.
like, was that
gotta be
actually
good, though.
one whole shot?
I'm sure it was stitched.
Yeah,
Because,
it's probably
like, yeah,
stitched a
there are a
couple
lot of
but-
times when like people run in front of the camera and it just like
Oh, yeah.
you know. So
That's
I
the
assumed
sign.
it was
That's the
not one
signal.
whole shot. Yeah,
I
okay.
would
Yeah.
rather watch that oneer and the
also-
oneer in the first one. I don't really remember, but I would rather watch that oneer than watch fucking 19 whatever the fuck.
Oh,
1917
get outta
here.
over again because
Get outta here.
That movie
1917
is so much better. Oh
It
my
No,
is.
it's
god.
not. It's not.
Oh,
The
yes, it
characters
is.
are. You
I
want
love
to talk
that
about non-compelling characters? 1917 has the
What?
worst character that you have to follow around for 2 fucking hours because they kill off the
What?
only interesting person in the beginning of the movie, and then the rest you're just following this pissed off dude the entire time through these boring
That's fair. I
sequences.
mean, the first
it's
guy getting
just-
killed off was way more entertaining, obviously, but yeah.
It's just.
I mean,
he was the only person.
By the
who
end of
had
it, did you
character.
see he took out the family photo? He cares
Oh,
about
that
the
was enough
family.
to compel you. What about Chris Hemsworth?
It kind of
They brought
it
in
did
his
kind of
kid.
bring me
Did it
back
compel you?
around. Fuck no, because that was like
See,
a
what's the
device. That
difference?
was
What's the
like a
What do you think that was in
the
1917? It's a
intent and the
device.
care. The intent and the care. Because in 1917, they purposely withheld all information of the family. They gave you one time where he pulls out a little picture and you don't see what it is. And then at the end of the movie, he's safe and under the tree and he pulls out and he finally shows you what he's cared about the whole
And
time.
you know what I?
Of
you know what
Extraction,
I
it's like,
thought after
I
he
had a
did that?
son once and he's dead. You've heard this one before, haven't you? Okay.
After he
Yeah,
pulled
I
out
feel like-
that picture in 1917, I thought, I don't give a fuck because this guy doesn't matter because he was just angry, grumpy, and I just unlikable
To me,
the entire time.
it like
Why do I care
unlocked
about
something
what he
with like
cares about?
why he's so emotionless. It's like he doesn't want to think about his family or think about what he'll lose. He just has to keep his head down
That's
and do
what
the
Chris Hemsworth
fucking
did.
job. Like
He took his,
that man,
his
he
kid-
never gave me anything to start with.
Hey,
Like at least in 1917, they
he was
lead you in
keeping
with
it in his
another
pocket.
character.
he was keeping it in his pocket, bro.
Keep it what in his
Well,
pocket?
yeah.
The whole family situation, he was keeping it bottled down. That's where all his anger stems
But
from.
nothing
That's why
about
he's
it-
like, bro.
I guess like his character's so unrealistic that I don't buy it either. You know,
That's-
it's like
that's
standard
what I was
military man
trying to
who
get
can
at,
do
is,
anything.
like, the way, like in 1917, it's like it does the kind of like the everyman soldier right, because it's like all right, we
There's
lost
a
the
guy.
interesting character. This guy now has to carry on. This is a soldier who's kind of like sent on a a very different mission, kind of like a special mission, which is cool because we get to follow him through all that. But then it's like
Hemsworth, we got an action figure here, and he's gonna
Yeah.
boom, 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 yeah,
Exactly.
like
In
he's not a
1917, it's
real
like,
person.
oh, this
you
is
know,
a
like,
dude who served
That's
in the Great War.
The writer's room with an action
Yeah.
figure, like, okay, and then he goes over here, like,
extract,
All I'm saying, I'm in agreement. The story not good, but I like you said. Why don't I just watch the action sequence? I do. Sometimes I get on YouTube and I just watch the oneers from the Raid 2 because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
All right,
Those are
that
good
sequence.
movies.
I've seen that sequence in the kitchen. I've seen
Oh.
it countless times because it's
I
just.
don't think I'll
epic.
ever forget that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Netflix, you could save $50 million if you just filmed an action sequence and released it as a 20-minute extraction sequence.
Yeah,
They'd be like, you see that extraction sequence? That was fucking sick. But now you have a shitty movie that's 2 hours long because you decided to
Matt,
pad it.
that's
you know,
what
like,
people who watch Netflix want.
Exactly.
No, they
Obviously,
don't.
It's
They're
the number
leaving.
one movie on Netflix.
It is.
Extraction 2 is?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
most
because it's the
watched movie,
sequel.
but it's the
I'm
most
just saying-
watched movie on Netflix.
I don't think
most
so,
streamed
dude.
movie.
That's just
It
what
doesn't.
people who
How,
watch
okay,
Netflix
I would love
want
to
watch.
see. I would love to
Yeah,
see how
it's
many
all-
people finish that movie. First off, because anyone can start Extraction 2 and then realize how shit it is, and then they'll still qualify it as a view because they watched 30 seconds of the movie. I'm just saying, like,
The same goes for Marvel movies, though. Nowadays, people go and watch them. They
yeah, but they're
complain
forced
about
into a
them.
theater. With Extraction, it's like, oh, what is this
Not for the
Extraction 2?
shows. Hey, I'm
Nah,
not
that
gonna.
sucks.
I'm not
I'm
gonna
clicking
finish
off of that.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
Look,
That's
I'm
not fair,
not
but-
saying Extraction is a good movie. I'm saying it's a fun movie.
it's a terrible movie. It was not fun.
I'm
It was
not gonna
fun.
lie. I kind of agree. Like, I feel like it was good. Like, it fit what it was going for.
Exactly.
And,
That's
like,
all
I
don't
asked for
know.
in that movie.
Like,
I didn't
I'm-
go in looking.
I don't
to be
know. I'm not
compelled
saying
and
I
change
just-
my views on
I
the
just
world.
don't respect
I would
action
not.
movies nowadays. That I think is my problem. Like, because I don't
You
like what they're
change
going
that
for.
Attitude,
Yeah.
damn it. All right.
I mean, get better action movies.
All right, Matt. How about we bring this back up when Dead Reckoning comes out,
Yeah.
and then you
I
can,
will.
Yeah, well, yeah.
When you watch,
I'm kind of
But
worried
also-
that I'll be a little bit spicy on that one though. Me
So,
when
like,
you watch
but we'll see.
Fallout, and you come back to me and you say Mission Impossible Fallout isn't a good action movie, I will have beef because that is like there's a sequence at the end of that movie, a helicopter sequence. It's like the best action
Oh
sequence.
yeah,
And that one was
Yeah.
filmed real, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Extraction is
So good.
cartoony nonsense, bullshit, stitchiness. Like it's like what the fuck?
It's a different beast,
You know, I-
though. Okay, it's a
I was
different
gonna
beast.
ask.
It's bad. Yeah, it's
well, like
bad.
during the like when they get out, I think it's like the refineries. I don't know. Whenever they have to leave their cars, it's like when they first get their cars. I think it's when they leave the prison. There's just some weird shots in that
Yeah, it's
because like the
not
camera's like
polished.
traveling around cars and shit. And I guess I was just like wondering, like, yeah, is that just stitched together? Like, how do they? I don't know.
Could be
Oh,
a
I'm sure- I
possibility
mean,
that they needed
I guess
to.
I almost assumed it was like drones, but
Maybe.
I could be
Could've
wrong.
been.
And I
Oh, it could've
actually
been.
thought that could be kind of cool. But
Yeah. I mean, there's no joke. There's no lie that there's good action shots in here.
He
You
said
know,
it. There we go.
I didn't say that
yeah,
every
can we just
shot.
get that?
Because
good
I'm not gonna
action?
lie, like I don't know, I couldn't film action better probably, but I don't think like a lot of these scenes are doing it for me anymore. In general, even when it's like, well, that was a cool long thing. It was like, but it's just like punchy, poop, 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 poop. Like it's like I don't. It's like I don't give a fuck. Like even what I'm watching, and the camera's just like kind of like circling now because it's like we should just show it all, and you know we get to see it all. But it's like, dude, then I'm not engaged because I'm just like watching two idiots fucking mosey around each other. Like I don't know. That's just like a weird disc. I don't think action movies right now are doing it for me. That's just me.
Yeah,
Maybe that's it.
I mean, it's like one thing that the Corridor crew like always touch on, and I've said it before already, but it's like if the action is also telling the story, like that's for me, that's what makes good action because it's like words aren't being spoken, but like shit is happening through
Yeah.
conflict, through legitimate conflict, and
Yeah. I will
think
say
that-
the one-oneer that they showed you, and that was the highlight of the movie. Obviously, it was very well, like the way that he was protecting the woman, like you just said, Noah, kind of brought it up to me as like someone thought about what he was doing every time, or like where that person was in conjunction to his moves. And
that
then
I actually don't
they
know if I agree
fired
with
that guy and like
because like I'm pretty
made
sure
the rest of the movie.
I wrote down a note, I think, that like at the end of the sequence when they went into the courtyard in the prison and then they went out another door, that door I'm pretty sure was like on the same wall that they came into the courtyard. I could be wrong.
So they ran
I'm
out,
pretty sure
punched
it's the-
everyone, fucking
Like
ran
yeah,
back in.
basically like say there's like two doors and there's a wall in between them. They go into the courtyard this wall, then they come into this door, or yeah, like basically like and then
Took a long way.
yeah. So I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
No,
but
I get what
I'm
you
pretty
mean.
sure that like
That's what I was just thinking,
same
like
door.
when they were in the thick
And
of it,
then there was like
it
another
was
scene
well done.
where like I'm trying to think because like something happened where like yeah like people were not in the right spot or like it was just really fucking weird.
You
So,
see
like,
the
I-
guy waiting back there, like,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
know.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good first hit.
I mean, also oneers, like they're impressive, but are they even that impressive nowadays? Also, when you're like
You do them all the time.
flex mode extraction oner that I'm
But, like-
stitching, and it's like, well, yeah,
Well, like
I mean,
it's
you're
not
not even
actually
really.
a oner, right?
Yeah, it's like you're not really trying that hard.
1917
You're trying to just
isn't
flex
Warner
it.
either because they stitched.
It's like
in that.
three.
You
There's like,
no, it's
what, 3
multiple,
or
but
5?
you
Gotcha.
they're so tasteful though. In 19, it's
Oh,
the
I hated that
tastefulness.
movie.
Guys,
yeah.
let's
was
just
not
move
tasteful.
on. Let's
Well,
just
it's like
we're
what-
not getting anywhere. Let's just move on.
That's fun
On the
conversation.
topic
I
of
think.
oneers, I know like the bear only has a few, and they feel so refreshing because of how fucking intense that show is and how quickly cut it is all the time.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you're smart with them, it's they can
Yeah,
be.
Well, that's-
impactful.
I think that's
You
the
don't
problem.
just, you know,
they don't
do
feel.
a 1917 where it's just like uncompelled.
Well, that is
That-
smart.
that's
characters.
like
That's
the
way
whole
smarter because
point of
they
that
took
movie
that,
is
yeah, they
just-
took it to its 100% degree with that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And
I
did it
wrote
well.
down to
Check
watch
that out.
1917.
Please do.
So
But also,
nice.
I think the problem with
yourself.
extraction
Right.
sequences.
I love
Sorry, I think the problem with extraction sequences are that when the oner starts to kick in, you're like, oh, here they go. They're flexing their oner skills. You know, it's like that's the only thing they really cared about. You know, it's like they only care about one cool fucking it's
There's
10 minutes
three
long.
things- There's three things in movies and TV shows that really just get me hard, okay? And it's Wonders for one. So when 1917 fucked that up, that was a bummer. But
I'm so surprised. Because the
Wonders-
oneer in Extraction is like lazy to me to be like, you call that a good oneer. That's what I'm like. Honestly, it's like,
fun. It was a good time.
it is fine.
1917 was not a
Personally,
good time.
I'm gonna have to agree with Matt on this one, just because if they did actually go back into a door that's like right next to the door that they came into
Okay,
the
I'm not
courtyard,
saying they're-
that's
That's
lazy.
just bad blocking.
Like,
That's just poor
That's just bad
choreography.
blocking. Yeah, bad choreography.
Yeah.
They just were too focused on getting the oneer rather than understanding where they're
But
at.
that-
so
in the
yeah,
scene.
wouldn't
That's
that
the
say it's a bad
problem.
oneer? Like,
That's the problem right there.
and it's unnecessary.
Past
Like,
the oneer. The other two things that get me hard are the shovel shots where they help put the camera on the shovel, all right, and it's on someone's back. That gets me going. And door shots when the camera's on the car doors. Those are the three things that get me going. And if those are in a movie and it's done tastefully and it does it well, I'm happy. Extraction, yeah, sure, they did some bad blocking. If it is in fact they went through the same fucking door as
I
they
could be
came out.
wrong.
But if that is the case, okay, they fucked it up. But it was so dark and there was so much just action going on that I didn't catch it, and I was just enjoying the fact that they're not doing 6,000 cuts to throw one punch. You know, I didn't have to get whiplash to see Chris Hemsworth punch one guy in the head, or
Yeah.
it wasn't like the Gray Man where it was just two CGI guys fighting. You know,
Mhm. There's
This
a
is-
happy
I-
medium somewhere here. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I feel similarly to the Gray Man as I do to Extraction, where I feel like there's that gimmick and lack of quality that like I don't
It's
think
the
I'll
Netflix
watch it.
sheen,
You know,
though.
that's
I mean,
why
you
I
can't-
haven't
You can't
watched
get
it.
past it when it's on Netflix. And like I said, Extraction isn't
Well,
a
you
good
can get
movie.
past it.
It's a fun movie. Okay, Gray Man is not a good movie, and it's not a fun movie. There's a difference.
Mm.
I just don't think Extraction was that fun, but that's fair, I guess. Where you're coming from.
If you think
was so
1917 was
boring.
fun, oh my!
I wouldn't
God.
say it was fun, but I would say it's a good movie.
It was.
Like,
No, it was okay. It was like a 2.5-star movie. It did its job. Okay.
but Extraction's a fun movie. Extraction did better than that.
yes.
Wow.
Wait,
it did.
Okay, we won't
So,
get anywhere then.
I guess if you say 1917 is a 2.5-star movie, what would you put Extraction at?
3, just 1/2 star, but it's a 3-star movie for me because I put the first one I think at a 2 or a 2.5 because I didn't enjoy it and I don't even remember anything about it. But
It wasn't
the
great.
second one I do
Pretty
remember
bad.
things.
I would
about
not have
this
watched
one.
this one if I. Sorry.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even going to watch it until I
I guess
saw
you
that the sequence online of the prison sequence, and I thought, oh, this is like the Raid 2. I want to see, what it's about. So I watched it because of the sequence, and I was in, and I enjoyed myself. So
I'm just saying, if they didn't have that one sequence in that movie, would you have liked that movie?
no, if the action wasn't up to snuff, no, I wouldn't have had as much fun. That's why the first one wasn't as good. They were just testing the waters. They had like a.
They
couple
didn't
good
have a
action
oneer
sequences.
in the first one.
They
They
did. They had
did.
like a 15.
Oh,
minute one.
okay.
Yeah.
It was stitchy
Fuck,
though.
I
It was
didn't mean-
fun.
Didn't even notice it. That's how. Yeah, right.
It was rough. Okay, that's why the first one didn't really stand out to me. This one was like a polished version. They pulled out all the stops, and they're like, "We're gonna do
Mhm.
better than the first one," and that's what they did. And they did.
Did
a
it do
little bit
better than the Raid?
No, fuck.
That
No.
was
The Raid's
like, I mean, like,
those are
I,
5-star
I,
movies.
well, like the Raid fight when they're out in the mud pit. I was like, dude, this is like,
That's
I mean, but the like Extraction's not doing anything different. They're like literally just trying to make the fucking Raid 2
That's
then.
what
Like,
makes
It's-
that a
it's a
3-star
snow
movie
pit.
compared to a 5-star movie. Okay,
Oh.
because this one was fun, and I'll probably never watch it again. I might check out that sequence every once in a while. But the Raid I've watched a couple times. And
I might
will
just
continue
watch
to
that
it.
sequence just to see what door they go in.
just rewatch it just to be sure.
I think we're spinning our wheels here.
Yeah, we're not gonna get anywhere. I just like, I don't know. I just I think I'm coming harder onto like these fucking meandering blockbusters because Transformers I wanted to be about too, but that movie was so fucking like mid and standard that I'm like, I just don't think you guys suck. Like, stop doing this. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But
The
Yeah.
difference between
Let me
that
ask
and
you this,
Transformers,
Matt.
though, is that Transformers is mainly CGI, so that's for me is less compelling. But
I mean, so is
Okay.
fucking
There's a
that whole
lot of-
sequence is like
it's
shit in
but
the
it's-
background there, fucking shit.
Yeah, but the
Explosion
people
that they
are actually
bought
throwing
on
punches. Okay,
computers.
It's not just animated stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, even the new Transformers, even the fights were fucking bad because it's just so
Yeah.
cartoony, and they lost like the realism of Michael
That's what
Bay,
I'm
which I
saying.
didn't think I'd ever want. But you know, yeah, I don't know. Make your own decision on Extraction 2. Let us know what you think.
A lot of eyes on it, so yeah.
Yeah, if you're one of the few people that watched it for a minute and a half,
People-
let me know.
A
That's my
ton
wonder
of
is, like, how many people
watch
turned
this
it on
movie. Millions
left
of
it.
people.
I bet you if you ask somebody if they've seen Extraction 2 in 5 years, they'll be like,
I
what
think
is
so.
that? I
That's
don't know.
because the people who will have seen it in like if you ask people in 5 years, it'll be a bunch of 55 to 60-year-old men who are in late or early stage dementia. Okay, they don't care. They just want to turn on a movie
That's you
and watch
in
it.
5 years?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Here's my argument to that. Do you think that 55-year-old dementia people can have good taste in movies then?
That's
No.
demographic.
What they
That's
want
fucking
is
terrible.
like
Netflix is
80s
hitting.
blockbuster where it's just a big strong dude beating up people and just clapping cheeks. That's all.
We've not. That's what I'm saying. We haven't evolved. We haven't done better than the 80s
Yeah,
then, in my opinion.
That's more what I meant about the Steven Seagal. I just used him as a reference. I mean, like, you can throw Van Damme or any of the other
Yeah.
people, like Arnold, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
You can throw any of those guys.
Hemsworth.
It's like,
Yeah,
No, what? Come on.
Okay.
But the thing
All right.
is those names, yeah, those stick with those 50-year-old men. No, none of these 50-year-old men know who Hemsworth is, okay? And they don't care. They just want a
Now they
big,
do.
I saw a
strong
war
man
movie and they were
clapping
in.
cheeks, and that's what he's doing, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
You ask those 55-year-old men with dementia how they compare 1917 and this one, war movies, because that's what they'd be into,
That's
right?
a great question, actually.
Because
That's the target audience for that.
I would
Yeah,
'cause
ask
they're
they
into
might like
my
pickle.
father-in-law,
War.
actually, because he's seen the first Extraction. He hasn't seen the second one yet, but I'm sure he'll get to it this weekend. But he enjoys 1917, but that's because he's a military man, so he like enjoys that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll see.
Yeah,
I'll
Yeah,
get
I'm
his
curious.
opinion.
I'm curious. Yeah.
He's not
Okay.
55. He's only like early 50s, maybe. But
That's not the target we're looking for then.
It's a bit off.
but he watches those,
That's going to skew the results. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
he
sure.
watches those Sylvester Stallone. You know, he loves Rambo. We watched a Steven Seagal movie yesterday. So
Oh, nice.
Okay, so this is you just put a ringer on your fucking survey
Right.
team. It's gonna easily like Extraction 2.
exactly. But he's seen both of them, just like me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see.
How about we
Okay.
each try to get somebody to watch Extraction 2 and we see how they feel.
See what they
Let's-
think. Well, we have to get them to watch both and say which one's the better movie or something, or like which
Okay,
one's
yeah.
I
more
love that we're
entertaining or
comparing,
something.
like this Oscar-winning movie to Extraction 2 right now.
Extraction 2.
Streets.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us
Also,
know. What's the
side
better
note,
movie?
Matt, what did you think this new Transformers relative to any of the Michael Bay ones?
Like, where's the ranking?
Sure.
The first 3 Michael Bays are still the best. I'll stand by that. Those movies are
So
actually
this
not
is
that bad.
sliding in at fourth. All right, cool.
I'd say actually Bumblebee is maybe 4,
Bumblebee's ass.
and then it's not very good. And then this one, maybe this one,
Damn.
and then
so
the Marky
pretty bad.
Marks.
Yeah, the Marky Marks.
It's so mid, dude. I was like ready to like it, obviously, because it's like the Rise of the Beasts hooked a lot of people. I'd say just like, but it just falls right back into the same like standard Transformer like structure feel, and then I don't know. Like I was saying, like these blockbuster shit, like all the characters are so forced and so like hammy and so like outside of like reality, but they have these goals that they have to fucking show you through the whole movie. You know, like I just don't give a fuck, dude. Like show me someone
Yeah.
real that I
You
can
just
like
bring back Shia,
watch
dude.
the movie with.
Yeah, bring him back.
I mean, that guy's an engaging actor. I'm not gonna lie, but I just,
The first 3, like you
he's a
said, I mean, like,
psychopath.
They hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, those
He's
movies are
pulling
actually
his
pretty
life
good.
together.
What's up?
He's gonna pull his life together. He's on it. He's got monks living in his house and shit now. So
Yeah, he's gonna be in Francis Ford Coppola's new movie. He's back on the rise. Then he'll go back on the fall. It's a roller coaster, right?
he's got Mia Goth in his corner now. I mean, they're back together. They're raising a kid. All right, she'll keep him square. I have faith
For
in
real?
him.
He's with Mia Goth. I had no idea.
Yeah, they're
What's she
married.
doing? What?
Yeah, they have a
What
kid.
are you doing, Mia? Wow.
all right. So, are we gonna talk about Asteroid City or not?
Yeah, it's just me and you saw it, right? Joe,
I think so. Yeah.
I've not.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
also have not seen it.
close your ears, guys. I just want to get for like some taste out, and you guys might not like what I have to say. So
No, please.
if you want to listen,
I want.
Nah,
that's on you
yeah.
at this point. All right, I'm just letting you know. All right. What do you think, Joe?
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was good, but definitely not my favorite Wes Anderson movie
I feel you.
by any means. I mean, like even putting it up against like the French Dispatch, I like the French Dispatch more than this.
Absolutely.
I
I think
thought-
honestly, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was okay, but like I don't know, it just felt off. I don't know what. I still haven't been able to pinpoint what exactly it was,
I
but
gotcha.
like, cause like you got the colors, you got like the quirky acting, but like there was still like something about this that just like felt weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Wes Anderson's pace is weird in general, but this one, like, the pacing wasn't serving it. I don't know. The first like hour, or first like half hour to 40 minutes, really like I was trying to like latch on to what I was trying to do here. And I just don't think we got there. You know, like, I don't know. I get what you mean. This is probably my least favorite, if not lower. I got to rewatch like Fantastic Mr. Fox because that might be the only one I consider to be lower than this film right now. It's still really, I enjoyed the movie. I'm not like trying to be like super negative because I had a pretty good time. And any Wes Anderson movie is better than most movies. So, you know, it's like you got to grade it on like his films, which kind of suck. But which kind of sucks because like his films are so good, you know?
Honestly, I feel like it was weird because like what really got me thinking about it was at the end when you kind of actually see Jeff Goldblum, and because like I'm at the beginning credits, I'm like Jeff Goldblum, like oh shit, that should be interesting, like because his character, and then like you actually see him at the end because I'm like he hasn't showed up yet,
cameo.
and like he says something about how there's a metaphor. And then I'm like, I mean, is there a deeper underlying meaning to this movie? Because I totally didn't get it. And I looked it up after, and I'm like, I guess that makes sense, but I didn't get that from this movie. Like,
yeah, I mean, this one's kind of hard. I mean, there's like multiple layers of story that's happening, which he does with the French Dispatch, where it's like the magazine article, then like the girl reading about the magazine article on the stage about what she wrote back. You know, it's like there's so many different like story levels in that movie. And this one tries to do that with like the play and then like the TV show that's talking about the play with Bryan Cranston.
yeah.
You know, so it's like kind of similar, but I thought like it just didn't line up right. Like the French Dispatch that is just like worked with the magazine structure, and this one is just like too many like outer elements of like it just didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
I
I
agree.
didn't
Like,
grab
yeah,
it.
like some people thought the French Dispatch was like hard to follow, but like this one, I feel like was kind of hard to follow because of how it was structured. Like you said, I mean, like I don't know, like, just
The
like
French-
because Bryan Cranston just randomly showed up sometimes, and then but like he was like in a scene in what's
Pops
supposed to
in
be
one.
the play, and
He's like,
that
I'm not
was
supposed
just,
to be
like,
here.
funny
Yeah.
shit, but like like
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just it was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
The French Dispatch like is dense, and all of his movies I just have to commend him. Like they make me sit up in the theater, and that's like a very nice feeling for me because like Transformers I slouched and fucking like fell asleep. French Dispatch, Wes Anderson's movies, he makes you like sit there and like be focused and like ready to like because sometimes it's
honestly,
fast, sometimes like the dialogue is really
like sitting in the
heady.
theater, I was like focused the whole fucking time because I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to pay attention, otherwise I'm gonna have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like
For sure. And I mean, I respect that. Like he draws you in easily. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I found it kind of fun to try to pick out in this movie what actors can do Wes Anderson. Because like certain people can do it and certain people can't. I feel like now, like it's
okay,
and
yeah. Who did you think could?
yeah. I mean, I respect him for this movie for like choosing so many new actors that he's never worked with. There's probably like
In,
10 new
like,
people he's
Major
Never
roles,
been.
like
major. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's like all of his. I feel like all the actors that I've seen in other movies of his were like in lesser roles. You know, like I don't know. Or
and he's usually got his like cast, like Jason Schwartzman's a go-to, which he's the main guy on this one. Usually there's fucking Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, stuff like that. But this one, that's what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of the actors lived up to the material on this one. I think the few that did, I think Steve Carell shows a lot of promise with Wes Anderson's shit. No, not for you. I get you. I get you.
No, I mean, like it's fine. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like he was just like himself,
Reciting,
which is
yeah.
like fine.
I mean,
but like
no, that's fair. I mean, what's the problem with Wes Anderson shit is like he wants you to say it exactly how he's saying it.
Mhm.
And then as an actor, it's like, how do you put your tiny spin on it for him? You know, like, and I thought Steve Carell like brought himself into it enough to be like, I'm gonna, you know, give you this. Whereas like Tom Hanks, I thought was one of the flattest characters I've ever fucking seen, and I
Yeah,
was like
dude.
waiting for more, and I never got it. So,
I like when I saw that he was in this, I'm like, oh, he'd be perfect. But then actually, like watching his performance, I'm like, wow, this is not like he does not fit here. Like this is
he
weird.
does not. No, I mean, and like that character seemed so much more fun. He's got like the gun in the holster that you never get to like
Yeah,
do anything
never
with.
referenced at all.
It's like, and like, there's so much more to him that Tom Hanks is not giving you. Like, it's, I don't know, it didn't work.
yeah.
I thought Scarlett Johansson did pretty good. Her character was a little bit too. Like, there's certain moments in Wes Anderson movies where I'm like, dude, okay, that's too hipster. That's too like for me, even, you know, like
I don't
when
know.
she's like got the pills or whatever.
Yeah, back, like that was good, but like for the most part, I feel like I don't know, probably like 75% of like her parts. Yeah, I feel like we're probably not hitting the Wes Anderson vibes for me.
That's fair.
Hey, probably the
Leave
best
Schreiber.
for me. Yeah, that was good.
I liked him.
Probably the best for me was I don't know what his name is, the dude who plays Woodrow.
He's
the
the main
kid.
guy, right? Oh, the kid.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
I don't know. I
He's
feel
good.
like
Yeah, the kids were good. It also kind of harkened me back to Wet Hot American Summer. Have you seen that one? There's like the nerd squad that's like doing outside shit or doing inside shit together. I was like, it didn't feel like super original to me, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, was there anybody else that like stood out to you as far as like the actors? Because the Stranger Things chick did nothing for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, why are you? That was the weakest story for me.
Yeah, like I feel like that was like really unimportant to the story. That whole that character and like the kids that she was taking care of, and like even those cowboys that came in, like
the Cowboys were funny, but
the
it just
movie
didn't
could
really
have
do
gone
anything.
like they really didn't do anything for the story. So like
yeah, I don't know. I think it's smart in ways that I have to like rewatch to find, because at the end he says all his pictures turn out, and this is clearly Wes Anderson talking to us saying he thinks all of his movies are like good enough, or like he thinks they're all of value. And like honestly, I thought it was boring
would help to watch it
to rewatch
watch it again. Yeah,
because like I also think like it's boring and melodramatic and not very good acting, but also because like the play that they're doing, the actors are not that good, and they're like, maybe they're not it's just like a play that's being put on in a city. So like I'm wondering if there's like multiple levels of the boringness, you know, or like the bad acting that I'm like not giving it credit for at a certain level, but also you got to make an entertaining movie. So that's kind of just where I stand on it. But I'd give it 3 stars, I think. So
yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. It sucks too because like I said, Wes Anderson's movies are so good. You have to judge them together. But this movie is so much better than a lot of other ones. So.
Yeah. So the main guy, what is that actor's name?
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, like I love when he like comes into like Edward Norton's house or something, basically, with the ice cream.
Yeah.
And I just love the end of that scene where they just start making out. Like, it's fucking so weird. Like,
yeah, it's like how he got the role or whatever.
Yeah.
There were fun little cutaways, witty Wes Andersonisms.
Yeah.
The alien spoilers obviously was a great moment. So good shit, but just didn't really fully give me what I wanted, I guess.
Yeah, kind of same. Yeah, I think that's really it. Like, I just didn't get what I usually get out of Wes Anderson movies. I don't know.
I think The French Dispatch is my favorite, honestly. That I like looked at them all again in order, and I was like, I think that's the best one.
Aquatic, man.
Really?
I'd love to see that. I've not seen.
I gotta rewatch, but it wasn't my favorite one I did.
Yeah, I think I just need to go back through.
I gotta watch his early ones for the first time.
Bottle
but anyways, shall we move on to our final chat?
Dive.
Let's do it.
Diving in.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall I give her the old intro.
Take it away.
Get that shit, bro.
Welcome back, guys, to another Director's Dive on David Fincher. I'd say we're about halfway, if not more now, onto the modern films here. Back with Brad Pitt, back with collaborating with some of his early cast there. Yeah, we're talking The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. What did you guys think of this movie? I've watched it a few times, and this is all your guys' first watches, right?
You've watched this a few times,
I've watched this a few times. Yep.
like willingly, or
That tells you.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
all right.
okay,
Well,
well, yeah,
Alex
what's
fans.
other? What's everybody else's flavor?
I personally, it wasn't my favorite Fincher's. I like the themes that it was going for, you know, like time and like people's arcs lining up, you know, people's stories lining up at different times in their lives. But I don't know, maybe it was like too on the nose for me, or maybe just a little too slow, or yeah. Still good. I think it's like an interesting story. It's based off F. Scott Fitzgerald's writing, which I didn't know, and
I looked that up too. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I really like his writing. I've read a few of his books, so I thought that was interesting. But even after watching this movie, it's like I don't know if I even care to read the book. But
It's a short story.
Is it?
So
Okay.
It's definitely shorter than 3 hours, I'd say.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I actually think it would be interesting to read the short story because I wonder if like this movie is like just a more modern continuation of that short story. Like I wonder if the short story covers his whole life, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know,
I'm
like
sure it
this
took
is like
bits.
you know, it goes into basically modern day or more modern times, you know? Like I mean
Is
they're
it
in
just
a
his diary,
modern
I wonder?
hospital. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, like it's kind of based off. He's narrating the movie, so I assume maybe the story was like him telling it the way that she's reading his diary and all that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I thought I would not like it. I don't really think that Brad Pitt was the right choice. I mean, for the middle years where he's actually his age, I thought it was fine. But everything else, I don't really think that he kind of worked for me. But of like I don't know, with Fincher and his the peaks and valleys of his movies, of like the other Valley movies, like Panic Room and The Game. I thought this was definitely better than those. I think this is the best Valley movie that we've hit so far. But
I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we know Alex not about it, right?
Fucking hates it.
I don't hate it. It's like you know, you walk into we'll just say a nice Meijer, right? And you get a box of Fruit Loops, and that's your Forrest Gump, right? Then you walk into Aldi and you get like Berry Rounds or whatever the fuck Aldi sells that's off-brand. And this is like knock off Forrest Gump, just with old Brad Pitt turning young Brad Pitt with a narration with a quirky voice, just like Forrest Gump, and it's just less interesting, less fun. They spend so much time with them old that they don't leave any time with them being young, and the fact that he decides to just leave after his daughter turns 1 is just a weird choice because regardless, it's just the same idea. Him turning old is her mom turning old. They're both going to be old. He's just in a younger body. She doesn't have to raise him. He's just going to get the old people problems in a younger body. That doesn't make any sense why he left. That's just stupid. He didn't have to leave. But yeah, it's just a big old nothing burger in this movie. I don't the message, sure, time, age, all that crap, cool, whatever, was not that interesting. And it was not like profound. And my rabbit hole of the knockoff Forrest Gump, because the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, this is fucking Forrest Gump. What is happening? He's on a boat. Is he looking for shrimp, boiled shrimp, fried shrimp, grilled shrimp? You know what? Then you go and you see the writer. Oh, it's Eric Roth. Oh, he wrote Forrest Gump. You know, also based on another book. So I mean, it's just Forrest Gump, but Benjamin Button. That's my thoughts.
I agree that like it wasn't as profound as maybe I wanted it to be. maybe that's why I thought it was like a little
There's
predictable.
nothing profound about
You know, I
it
think
at all, though.
I
It's
just really enjoyed Forrest Gump, so
I like
maybe
Forrest Gump.
that's
It's a fun
maybe
movie.
that's why I
It's
thought this
fun.
was.
Well, don't you think like there should be spiritual successors to Forrest Gump if there's spiritual successors to 80s action movies?
Hey,
Sure,
we're bringing it
but
back to
Whoa.
Extraction.
The problem with this one is that it just
Take it
wasn't
away.
interesting, and that Brad Pitt spent 90. It was 2 hours, no, an hour and 51 minutes, and we finally get like young Brad Pitt, and then he finally gets with Kate Blanchett. Which, who? Kate Blanchett? What is she? Oh, she's fucking Jenny. Okay, he probably named his boat fucking whatever her name was in the movie. You know, it's just like, and they finally get together and they have a kid, just like Jenny and him when they finally hook up the one time. She has a kid and it's Forrest's kid, and then she fucking leaves. Right? Forrest Gump, does she leave? No, she dies or some shit of AIDS. Right? This one, he leaves, and that he didn't have to leave. It was so frustrating that he left because what he was saying was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to take care of both of us. You're both gonna grow old. You're just gonna get a younger body. Who cares? She's gonna get dementia. You're gonna get dementia.
But she
You'll
did
just have
end
to
up
take
taking
of it."
care of him.
Yeah, because he had
Yeah.
dementia, but it was because old people problems, not
But
young
she didn't
people
get
problems.
dementia.
No, but I mean, some old people do. I'm just saying, it's the same idea. He was just growing old. He could have helped her raise
I
that
guess
kid.
like
He
neither
didn't
of
have
them.
to
I
leave.
mean, it could have been vice versa. Like, I mean, she could have got dementia and he might not have. I don't know. I guess it's just like
He could have taken care of her.
I
He's
think
not
there's
turning
just some
into a
gray
baby.
area. You can explain away shit like that if you want, but I don't know. I mean,
No, he didn't have
Well,
to
I mean,
leave.
she was more capable than he was at the end.
He was.
clearly.
She was, and
So,
that's
like-
fine. But like, he didn't have to leave. He could have helped raise.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why the issue.
But also,
of, like,
don't you
his
think your
condition was-
daughter would think it's all fucked up? Just in general.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sure,
but,
yeah, you probably think it's fucked up, but he's still it's the age. The whole point of like the start of the movie is his old baby, right? He has these old people problems as a young baby, and this
God,
family
man.
takes him in and accepts him, and he grows into this younger body. You think they couldn't have explained that to his daughter? I mean,
Right. That's what I was
wasn't
getting at. Is, like,
explained
why was it a
to
problem? then?
like so she's reading his diary, right? And he like where did that come from?
I don't know. He probably
His
mailed
diary?
it to her.
When she took care of the kid, probably. He had it, I think.
And she just but she had read it before, right? I mean, like, because she knew the parts of the story.
Before the hospital bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming so, yeah.
Because I guess I vaguely remember her like being like seeming like she kind of knows what's going on.
I mean, she's revealing to her daughter.
And I was
that
going somewhere
that's
with
her
that,
dad.
but I don't
Yeah,
know.
big chapter
remember-
reveal.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Alex. Because I mean, like, there was not really even like Benjamin Button, like the character, didn't even really come to any kind of realization. He didn't really like end up trying to have any
Yeah.
part of his daughter's life.
No.
I mean, he ended up getting dementia, and like then it was kind of all fucked. I mean, he showed up, yeah, back at like the school or
Yeah, the dance
ballet
school.
class,
Yeah.
and then I think he just like saw that she was like fine, and like they had their own little family. She kind of like moved on from him, and then he kind of just fucked off, like.
Yeah, no, and
But
that's the
so like I
thing.
guess like that was kind of showing that he had reservations about like leaving, which like I feel like anybody would. But
Yeah, but
I don't know.
she had the baby when she was Kate Blanchett. I think she said she was 43. He was 46. Okay, first off, that's fine. Kind of old, I guess, to have a baby. She's probably high risk. Anyway, but that's actually more common nowadays, I think. Anyway, they're having a baby, and they're both in their 40s. Why did he leave? Just because he's gonna turn into a scary young boy with an old person's mind? Ooh, no, it's just that was a weird thing to do.
You can't have yacht, hot teen Brad Pitt hanging
Yeah,
around.
I guess I'm just like trying to
Yeah,
think
man.
like
if you were
how
like
the movie
20
would
years
go.
old and you had a dad that was like a 10-year-old, don't you think that'd be fucking weird? I just
Yeah.
don't
Still
think it would
has
be.
the
I
life
guess in
experience.
like
It's
would
just in
that
a
be
younger
interesting to
body.
watch?
He's a 10-year-old
Like,
boy.
yeah.
He can't talk though. He doesn't know
I
who
kind
he
of
is.
would
So it's
find
like,
that interesting in the sense of like, you know, your parents, you know,
Yeah.
kids or parents raise their kids, and then eventually kids kind of do end
Raise
up
their
taking care of
parents,
the
yeah.
And
parents.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, yeah, he's in a 10-year-old body, but he still could have raised her, and she's probably at that point in time going to college. So it's just like putting your dad in a home. You know, it's there's
he's
no
so
difference.
fucking weird, dude. Be like,
It might be
hey,
weird.
hey,
but-
go to school. School.
I'm
You're
just- he didn't have
grounded.
to leave. He could
Yeah,
have helped raise
don't
her.
you do that.
That whole conflict right there of him leaving and it just didn't need to happen that way, and it was weird. And I don't know.
I mean, I can understand that gripe, I guess, but to me, I accepted the leaving pretty rationally, I guess. So, and it also kind of mirrors his own father leaving in a way, where it's like the cycle
guess.
of relationships or
Yeah, but
time,
like I
or
thought that scene where
family.
he like reconciled,
And-
you know, where he's sitting on the bench, where it was like, oh man, he kind of forgave his
Right,
dad.
he comes
I thought-
back into the end. It's like these
Yeah.
gaps of time aren't like the
Yeah.
end for me. So it's like,
Right. Yeah.
I guess my first tastes, I just let it kind of go there. But I've seen this movie multiple times because when I first watched it, it was like semi impactful in a younger body of Matt Sway, where I was like, wow, time and love and oh my god. And then
We're all gonna
I was like,
die.
wow, that's pretty good. And then I was like, oh, this movie kind of sucks. And then like I've rewatched it now twice in the last year, and it gets better every time. I come back to this movie and I actually kind of like this movie. It's not the best. It's definitely reminiscent of Forrest Gump, 100%.
Reminiscent.
But like, I mean, what do you want to say?
I'm just saying, it's more than
It's the
reminiscent.
same story structure. I mean, that's like hundreds of movies, but
No, it's not just the same story structure. I mean, he gets on a boat. He has the girl that leaves him and comes back. The only thing that didn't happen between him and the girl is she didn't get AIDS. Instead, he got dementia. I mean,
so what do you want out of the Benjamin Button story? Do you want him to like go to war and
I
then
want
that'd
it
be
to
Forrest Gump too? Forrest Gump did
It wasn't
everything.
even
Like it's like
interesting. That's the
no,
thing.
I mean, I
It
found it
wasn't
pretty
even
interesting inherently, just the idea of a man aging backwards. That's like, whoa, that's weird. What the fuck? And then the movie deals with all the ramifications of that process. And I found it to be like, there's obviously like the tone is the big difference that I latch onto for why this is distinct from Forrest Gump and why it deserves to be a movie. Is like, yeah, it's taken the nostalgic look of a man's life over 60 years, but the tone, the ideas, and the themes are all completely different than Forrest Gump, almost like,
Yeah.
and it's just much more like mature. I'm sure it gets like heady and maybe it doesn't land because it's so kind of like trying to be like engaging in that way or like trying to get you emotionally hooked. But I don't know. I like this movie and it makes me feel things. It really does. So like I
Interesting.
don't know. You got to be on board, I guess. But
No, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Controversial. I think Forrest Gump's a little overrated nowadays, but that's just me.
Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
well, also like they clearly made this movie as like a love letter to Forrest Gump. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, I think it's 15 years past Forrest Gump at this time. So they're like, man, everybody loves Forrest Gump, don't they? Let's try something, like that.
Yeah.
So like, I guess it's like how you take remakes or like rehashings of ideas, because to me, when you make it prestige and Fincher like dives in on his like terms and he like does it what he wants to do, that was pretty
Wow.
successful. But then when you make like just straight up remakes of shit, that's obviously lazy and hack. But like, so I don't know.
In the 80s reference that you brought up earlier, the difference is that's just like a, I don't want to say a genre, but it's kind of like a genre. It's just 80s junk food
It
that
is.
you would consume, right? This is not just the genre, right? It's just Forrest Gump, like the same beats.
Yeah.
They're the girl and him, they're chasing after
Every
each
action
other.
movie is the same beats. Like, I
Well,
mean,
but
I understand
it's
the argument, but I
So, like,
fundamentally
the
disagree.
I
I
actually-
guess.
I just looked up,
the shrimping
like,
boat, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean,
So I
I know,
looked-
I totally get it. It's like beat for beat. Yeah, go ahead.
But I looked up the source material. Like I'm reading the plot right now of the
He's
short
reading
story.
the short story.
It's
Yeah.
completely different. Like it,
Nice.
as in like the same thing where it's a guy who fucking ages backwards. The rest of the story looks like completely different. Like he had this little business, he has a son and shit, and he ends up leaving the business to his son. It looks like, like this guy pretty much took the story, like pretty much took Forrest Gump and
So Eric
adapted
Roth,
it to
who
this.
wrote
I'm
Forrest
sorry.
Gump.
Like I feel like that's like pretty much like
Okay,
I don't
so the
know.
guy
Yeah,
who
that's
wrote
fair.
Forrest Gump liked what he wrote on Forrest Gump,
Or at
but he
least,
liked
like-
the idea of aging backwards, and he slapped his Forrest Gump screenplay.
yeah, like at least
onto
we
it.
have solidified that that's pretty much what happened, whether you
Okay.
like it or not. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
I think
that's
that's the reason-
that's I
It's
guess what I'm
different
getting
enough
at.
for me
Yeah.
to be like vibrant and different, though. Like to
Yeah,
me, like that
an
argument doesn't
interesting
hold up
concept.
as
I
like
mean, like-
slapped, because there's so much different shit here and different ideas. Like you can hit major milestones of characters' lives that are in the same way. I guess like I understand that you instantly draw the parallel to Forrest Gump, but to me that's intentional. So like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm on a fence here, so knocking me over to one side.
Yeah, well, I was been thinking that it felt like the least Finchery, if that makes sense, of like his, like maybe, I don't know, like excluding fucking Aliens, Alien 3, but yeah, so far, yeah, it felt like the yeah, maybe it's because of the source material too, and the influence of Gump, but yeah, I thought for that reason I was like it made me interested, that I was like, oh, Fincher's, he's trying something new, he's working to do a little homage stuff, so
Yeah.
I can appreciate it for that at the very least too, that it was like, it was different, and I think I'll rewatch this one even though it's not my favorite of his, because I could see it being better.
Wow.
over
There's
time.
like several articles on the similarities between Forrest Gump and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So we're definitely not the only people who thought this.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they hired the Forrest Gump writer. Like, to me, it's like that's an intentional decision.
It's
Like,
also interesting. I want to bring up the Forrest Gump writer. He also wrote, what I thought was a pretty flat script, which was Dune, the new Dune.
what else did he write? Did he write anything else?
Actually, he helped with The Star Is Born, which I actually like that movie. So,
All right, so you can pick and choose whatever you want.
but I mean, but to be fair, the thing that makes Star Is Born better isn't the script, because it's just a rehash of an old movie that's been made 6 times. Bradley Cooper's directing of that movie and his portrayal of the Jackson Maine in Star Is Born is more compelling than any of the other 6, and that is just a remake, so that's fine, right? That is an intentional remake. The fact that he just took Scott Fitzgerald's idea and just was like, this is a cool concept, aging backwards. People like Forrest Gump, let's have this old guy travel around the world as he's aging forwards or backwards or whatever the fuck. All right, and it just has nothing to say, though. The movie has nothing to say, nothing interesting to say.
I disagree fundamentally on that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
What does that
But like,
say?
is that better
I mean,
than what Marvel's doing?
it's what Forrest Gump is saying, which life is complicated. Everyone has conflicting ideas, and like time is moving for everybody, and we can't stop it. There's many things you can draw from it.
To be fair,
like
I'm with
you said,
Noah
they
that Forrest Gump is
it.
overrated, and I think that Forrest Gump is just a fun movie to just turn on and enjoy. There's nothing really compelling to say about that either.
Right. I mean, like, this is like a mixture, an amalgamation of Forrest Gump, The Notebook, and Big Fish for me, where it's like these are clearly, like, Big Fish is like almost cut and dry structure, where it's like a man telling him on his deathbed the story of his life, like, and then The Notebook is the same thing, where he's like trying to get something across to his loved one at the end of their life. So it's like this is like pulling. This one makes you feel things way more than most of those, except for Big Fish, which is a fantastic movie. But so like, what fault do you get when, like, I guess for you guys maybe you didn't hit you, but when a movie can emotionally impact me on like the melancholy of life in a way, like, I don't think it's unsuccessful then. It's like telling me something that I want to hear and that I'm like open to. So like,
what did this tell you though? What did this movie tell you? That
I mean, just
there's a certain sadness and a happiness in life.
Side, Matt. I put down 3.5 stars for this. I liked it. I'm not. I'm just displaying the facts, like, about the Forrest Gump shit. That doesn't mean I don't like it. Like, I thought you meant I was like lumped in. I don't know.
No, you're not. Ugly mask.
I'm just saying.
Of this movie. I'm just saying.
No, I like to have discussion.
It didn't have anything to say for me.
And I disagree.
Time is fleeting. That's not. Oh, okay. Everybody fucking knows that.
What message do you want to see out of a movie?
Also, I would like to just point out that the baby should be dead after that first scene where he whips the baby out of the cradle. And if that's a fragile old man inside a baby's body, that baby would be demolished because he whipped that baby out of the cradle. Anyway.
I will say too, we talked about like pretty much well, at least like the last couple Fincher movies, about how he's added like little bits of CGI in. I just want to point out the CGI in this was pretty fucking bad.
It wasn't great.
Yeah. I thought it was okay.
The eyes.
I mean,
Brad Pitt's eyes, they fucked with me.
Yeah. I thought the makeup and like the evolution of his age was done as well as you could do it, I'd say. It
got better when he wasn't like decrepit at the beginning.
Yeah, when he was like really old, or like like really, it was pretty bad.
You can tell they're like, he was like gearing up his face replacement technology for a Social Network next movie, which is like flawless CGI. You would never even know it's like not there.
Oh, for the Winkle
So-
bosses and stuff.
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
Yeah,
so I
that's
think he's like at the first steps of that technology here, and he hasn't fully cracked it, but it wasn't like terrible for me. I agree. I can see what you're saying, where it's not great though.
it just took me out
CGI
of the
or the
beginning. a
movie
little
in
bit.
general, or
The CGI.
oh, okay. I thought I had you convinced that this isn't that good of a movie. I mean, I can see where you're saying where it's a more
It's
serious
good.
version of the Forrest Gump, and I will quit bringing up Forrest Gump if we don't want to.
Man, let's
Keep
just get
attaching
away
to
from
it.
it. We've talked about it enough.
I'm saying
It's like-
that it's a more serious version, and that's fine. It's just I don't know. The message of it didn't really matter to me, and like I didn't enjoy the characters. Kate Blanchett's character was
found
kinda
it-
just insufferable until she got what she wanted after she broke her leg. Or
I
whatever the
will
fuck.
say
I found
that's
her
all
pretty-
relative concepts to you. It's
Sure.
not like determining.
I
if it's a
mean, movies
good
in
movie.
general are. but-
Yeah, it's a
I guess like
certain-
we've
yeah,
talked
relative
earlier about
experience.
Extraction, if like or like I don't know, whatever else we were talking about. I mean, like something that's like good or something that's like you like. There's a difference
Yeah,
between
True,
the two.
for sure.
I
Yeah.
did not like this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I like fundamentally the Forrest Gump parallel. I can understand that inhibiting any entertainment value. Like I get that, but like I'm not there to like hate a movie. I'm there to like let it be what it is. And then when like I get the Forrest Gump parallel, I'm gonna take it and be like, is that shitty or is this like an homage? And I took homage. So like maybe that's just different ways of taking it
That
too.
wasn't
So.
even like the main. Like, yeah, I've been mentioning it a lot. It's just the whole movie was just boring. Like, none of the characters interest me. I think the whole
I found the
relationship between Brad
timeline-
Pitt and Kate Blanchett just bland and not
I
interesting.
thought there was some. I thought
I liked
specifically like
yeah.
the one woman he meets in Russia, who ends up swimming the English
Swimming
Channel like
Channel or
later that you
whatever.
find out.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. She was an interesting character to
That's
me.
another theme,
Yeah.
major
Yeah.
theme I got out of it was it like being adventurous, like because Benjamin Button is constantly pushing himself past his like comfort in the sake of adventure, and that's that character that you just brought up, Joe, is a specific example of the theme I'd say of this movie, which is never give up on like being adventurous or going out and living your life because she's swimming the channel at age 60 or whatever. Like
Yeah.
those are the things that right there. I mean that's a good writing moment too because he's deciding if he wants to even like have the kid. And then she's like, I can do it. Don't ever give up or like always try new things or something like that. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, like we'll go, we'll see. And yeah, I mean, like there's nuggets there that can give you meaning. I found them a lot, but
Yeah, I agree. I waffled between 3 and 3.5 for this one for a while, but yeah, I think over time it might be better for me.
I mean, it might get worse. I mean, I've had cycles of it, so
Yeah,
like I don't know. Something about the melancholy really sat with me nicely though too.
that was like the main thing that hit me was that tone. Was like, oh man, like immediately you feel it with like the story of the clock, the
Right.
being built and
Turning
stuff
backwards.
like that. I was like, this okay. I kind of like from the get, like I knew like where this was kind of coming from. So I appreciated for that. Like I said, maybe not as profound. Maybe it's just because I kind of knew the premise and like what to expect a little bit more. But I probably shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I can hold that against it. That's more just my experience with it. So, but yeah, I don't know. Let us know, guys, in the comments. We're like fucking. We're halfway.
I guess let me ask you guys this: can you name any other movies that like, I guess like the plot or the structure is mainly just following somebody's life from beginning to end?
Big Fish is like the one that I
Yeah.
instantly was like, wow, this feels like Big Fish. But
It does.
I've never
Hmm.
seen Big Fish.
um,
Because I guess
check it
like,
out.
look, if I don't know.
You
I
might
don't
not
wanna
like it
bring up-
actually. if you didn't like this one, it's pretty similar. So.
I love Big Fish is such a great tone and it's so vibrant in that movie.
I mean, that's the major takeaway for this movie. I think is the tone. I mean,
guess
honestly,
it's just like I feel like you're gonna get like vibes like that anyway. Because like I don't know, movies like that aren't done. They're not like I don't know. It's not like they're uncommon, but I mean like it's not like they're
Yeah, I
super common where it's
couldn't
like
really
a movie
think of
about
it.
somebody's life. Like.
yeah,
So I feel like you're automatically gonna draw parallels when they're like
Cloud
movies
Atlas?
like that. Like
right, that's like that type of genre almost. It's like the Forrest Gump genre.
I
Like,
get that no movie's gonna be 100% original. I get that, but it just I don't know. it's not. It just wasn't that interesting of a movie, and I don't think it
Yeah.
really had that many interesting things to say. And I don't think the characters were that great. Like they could have had the same story. Why'd they have to do it backwards? Just because, like I said, Eric Roth thought, "Oh, this is a cool concept, aging backwards," and then parallel it with a woman who's aging forwards and see how they differ
That's
in
where
life.
the interest came from me. Like,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's a period piece that is shot incredibly well. And it would,
It
maybe
is.
it would still be engaging, but to me, the hook of the movie is inherent and it got me. Like, I mean, I know it's just taste or whatever, but like the first, when I know it like lasts a long time when he's a grown man or whatever, too old. But like I never felt bored in this movie really ever. I never feel like I'm like waiting for the next point because it's just a constant progression, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only time I was waiting for the next point was like when he was on the boat.
Oh, that was some of my favorite stuff.
Like I was
Captain
engaged.
Mike.
It was just like I guess I was
Captain
just
Mike.
like thinking like because I feel like that part also went on for a long time, like the boat stuff. So
A little
Like they
bit.
took a long
Yeah.
time with him being old, and then they spent like the last hour where it was actually started to get somewhat interesting. But then I was just like, at that point, kind of checked out, and I also
Yeah.
didn't really care about Kate Blanchett's character because she just kind of came back into the picture
Ah,
after he wouldn't pork her the first time, and then she runs off, and then she loses her dream. Oh, now it's convenient for her to come back to Benny Boy. So, just like Jenny. Jenny.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tough because like the melancholy for me comes like the aging where they're like meeting in the middle. I think that's really where like the feel started to kick in for me. And then like the last half of the movie, like it's moving faster, but it's also like I'm thinking about it as like the later years of your life start to blur and move fast. And because his are the younger years, it's weird. So like that's where like the uniqueness of this movie comes because it's very like familiar, but it's such a unique movie too in a weird way to me, you know, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, yeah, it's a weird concept, but at the same time, they're the same age. So I guess I don't understand what the big deal was of him turning younger. That's the only thing I'm like, it doesn't make sense. He's the same age. He's just a
well,
different
you would
side.
see an old woman like making out with a fucking
Some people,
15-year-old.
that's their own business, though. He just pulls out a birth certificate and says, "Hey, look, you sons of bitches, we're the
It's
same
legal.
age."
I'm Benjamin Button, bitch. I age
Yeah.
backwards. Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to explain their life to people, you know. And if they get arrested because she's like, they think she's molesting a small child, well, then pull the papers and say, "Oh, well, he's actually this old." I just think it could have been worked out. He didn't have to leave, and that whole idea of that being a big contention for their relationship and their daughter's life is just not necessary.
Well, even Daisy says that she wouldn't have been able to look after both of them, you know.
yeah,
So like I think it's maybe agreed on in the film at least that like that
Maybe.
was the right move, you know. I mean, at least in the structure or in the script, but
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, yeah, I mean, well, that's like I don't fault the film for that decision because like that's also tied into the overall life theme that this movie's going for, which is like sometimes you make decisions, sometimes they're not like you don't know, but you're doing it and you're moving on into the great unknown and you just keep going and time doesn't stop, you know, and like then you live with that decision. Then 15 years later, you decide if it was good or not because you like have to reflect on it. And I don't know. So like the turns didn't really jar me enough to be like, what? So I was on board the whole time. I guess that makes sense.
Hmm.
and also I will say, you brought up like the similarities between Kate Blanchett's character and Jenny.
Jenny.
I mean, like, yeah, Kate Blanchett was like being a bitch and thought that she was too good for Benjamin at a certain point, but like she was also like the top of her field. Like she was actually like doing important shit with her life. Jenny was not. She was
Whoa,
just banging
yes, she was.
rock stars.
She was doing heroin in the
She was
Yeah,
doing
dude.
bathroom.
Like, I mean, like, I
she was
feel like
high
it's
on
like
life.
Best
they
shit of her
came from
life.
two different points to meet the main character. Like, not like I don't know. Yeah, like they did. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did like originally like like not go for the main character, yeah, and they ended up getting there in the middle. But like I don't know. I feel like they had different shit going on. I don't know.
Life pulls you apart, and then maybe it brings you back together, man. Not just spouting shit now, but I just have a few notes on like the filming or like the overall movie. I thought the score is really great in this movie too. It's the constant like orchestration. Is that orchestration's a word?
Orchestral something.
Orchestral is a word, but like the orchestral
Good.
composition of this movie
Beautifully put.
throughout was really solid, I thought. And then the piano melody that you hear a few times, I thought was really nice too. Like just good music. And I thought the cutaways that are kind of littered throughout this movie were so fucking well, like cinematically shot. I mean, that's just Fincher, man. But like when she's like swimming in the channel and you see her like give up, when you see him just like riding his motorcycle later in life when he's younger, like those are just gorgeous fucking shots that add like scale and scope and just majesty, like straight up. So like, I don't know, even the small little cutaways were just fucking great, I thought. Yeah, and I don't know. I want to see Brad Pitt and Fincher collaborate again, I'd say. I don't know what you guys think, but it's been a while now since this is their last one, I think. So
I
I'm
mean,
curious
I'm
what
for it.
would bring them back together. Yeah.
I like Kate Blanchett too. I mean,
Me too.
I wouldn't mind seeing her.
Yeah.
Just in general.
I just like looking at her.
Yeah.
I guess also one question I will say, and I've been speaking very highly of this movie, but I also only gave it 3.5 stars. So like, it's not like it's like 5-star movie for me, but, when I feel like I need to fight for something, I'll fight for it. But, I will say there's one thing I can talk negatively about in this movie pretty easily is that the mother-daughter timeline in the present day, it's very necessary to the plot, but also like, I don't know. I felt like it was very outside, like visually, tonally,
Yeah.
and then the hurricane aspect I thought was
That's
almost
what I was just gonna say.
meaningless. So like,
Yeah.
there's just little bits there that I don't care about at all. But I don't know. You kind of need that pull back to the present for the story every now and again. So
I also didn't like the narration, but
yeah,
Did throw me off at first. Yeah, I didn't know how I felt about
it
it.
was too
but
much. It was just basically he was reading obviously not the short story because it's a different story, but it was like he was just reading
Yeah.
a short story to us. So,
Hmm.
which the woman was reading the story to her mom in bed, but
yeah,
they could have just showed it. I don't know.
yeah. Usually I don't like
Yeah.
narration, but I don't know. There's something about this movie, man. I just kind of like it more than most. I think.
You're under the
I
spell.
think they pulled
man.
that from Titanic.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm just like into this kind of movie more.
Well, I gave it 2.5, so it's not like I was like a 1-star movie. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
Damn, lower
Nice.
than Extraction 2?
Yes. Because Extraction 2, I actually enjoyed myself. This one, it was just like very well crafted, like in terms of the directing. Like Fincher did a good job, and Brad Pitt
Yeah.
did fine. Kate Blanchett, not hard on the eyes, so I'm enjoying that. Whatever. So yeah. Other than
Star,
that, the
star,
story
star. Yeah.
But
Fair enough. Hey, I mean, I don't think you're the only person that thinks that about this movie. That's for sure. So
no,
Yeah.
some of
This
the
one,
Letterboxd
I think-
comments are pretty funny.
really, yeah, I think this one's kind of can hit the range for people. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think this is out of the Valley movies that we've watched. This is obviously the best one.
I will
In my
agree with that
opinion.
statement.
Mhm.
Because Panic Room still pisses me off. A lot of stuff about that, and then Aliens 3 is just we won't talk about it. But
Yeah,
Or the game.
the game.
oh my god, I forgot.
Kind of
about
messy.
that. Yeah.
But man, we've been holding out for next week because goddamn, we're about to reap all the benefits of this
Yep.
deep dive. So
Watch me just fucking hate it.
Yeah,
It's been a while since
sucks.
I've seen it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to just talk about this movie again, man, because I haven't really
Yeah.
dove into it in depth in a while. I feel like so it'd be cool.
It's been a while since I'd last seen it, so yeah,
Mm.
be nice and
Nice.
fresh. Be cool.
You're gonna
Yeah,
have to
well,
find some time to watch it. It'll probably
Yeah.
be fine.
It'll move fast. It's a quick 2 hours for sure. So
Yeah.
join us next week, guys, for the social network next
Yeah.
director's dive.
Yeah. And hate on some
Next.
Zuckerberg.
Some Zuck.
Yeah.
All right.
And if anybody's watching the stream, thanks for checking it out. And
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see you next week then too.
Yep.
Then.